That's right, my friends. That was our guy, Ego. This is my guy, Philly. I'm your guy, Spooky, and you guys are our favorite people. What is up, Pred fans? We bid you good night. We bid you good morning today.
Sure did.
We've got one hell of a match coming right up first thing in the morning.
Oh, and I'm so excited for this. I mean, we have one of the most storied teams in the Professors. If you are a PCC historian, you know they've been through this league for many years. So one of the grandfathers, the OGs of the scene. And then we have Flowstate, the rambunctious upstarts, right? They've won the PCC NA Summer Series. They're one of the top favorites on the NA side to win the whole thing. They find themselves the back against the wall here in the lower bracket.
Yeah, they were very verbal about their win in that NA Series Summer, right? Because they were talking a lot of smack. Mercy, very glad to be here. They were a team that kind of struggled to find a lot of success in different portions, but come together as a full five-man unit. They have shown what each member can do individually and together. I'm so excited to see what they've got for us. Before we get into all that, what are your thoughts just about the teams as a whole here?
Oh, I love the way that Flowstate plays. They have a very hyper-aggressive style. They really want to just all in, and that's off the back of Mercy. He'll take any opportunity and say, it's a winnable fight when maybe it's not. Good thing BKB is there to kind of keep him on a leash and say, hey, let's maybe think about things here or two. And then Peak is kind of that control tower. He's the support, just moving everybody across the map. So look for them to play Zarus and dive pretty heavily. While on the other side, the Professors do a lot more of just controlled compositions. They just run kind of what is standard, but they excel at those things. So I think they'll be able to absorb that pressure and then be able to counterattack. My friend, I'm ready to get into this.
Well, I'm ready to get into it as well, Philly. But before we do all that, we got one thing we got to do. We got to figure out which of these teams is picking first. So let's send this right back to Ego. Let's get with the captains and figure that out.
Guys, welcome back. I am here with the captains of the Professors as well as Flowstate, Simba and Survivor. Big match, and it doesn't start in P's and B's. It's going to start with this coin flip to determine who will get the first pick. Flowstate, coming out from our in the bracket, you're going to get to choose. Would you prefer heads or tails? Heads. Heads, coming out of Flowstate. You will have tails then on the side of the Professors. The result is going to be heads. Would you like first or second pick, Flowstate?
First pick.
First pick will then go to Flowstate. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Best of luck in your games, and we're going to be sending it back to the desk.
Survivor. Good luck, bro.
I've seen a lot of coin flips being won over this weekend right now. I don't know what's going on with these guys. They must be locked in, some precognition happening, but it's going well for them.
I got to say, Ego with that catch on the corner, that was some dexterity. He rolled a nat 20 on that one for sure. My friend, we've got a lot of data to parse through. I mean, we've got sheets on sheets on sheets here ready to just parse some of the things out. The biggest thing that I want to say is Mercy. We highlight this player all the time, right? But he's been playing Zarus pretty much every match, 5 times, in fact. He's the most played champion, and I think that's attributed to Mercy.
Absolutely. I'm glad you were able to read these because I'm highly illiterate. Don't know what any of this says. But I can tell you that though Zarus is one of the most highly played heroes, he hasn't been putting up the results, Philly. So we got to wonder, is that a pick that Mercy is going to be going back to today? Is that something where the things they've been practicing haven't been working out in the actual field, and can they fix that here today where it matters?
Absolutely, and you make a really good point because Flowstate yesterday didn't look at their best. They dropped a couple sets. They went down to the lower bracket. They faced MTG in an absolute banger that went all 3 games. They barely survived that one to get here to today. So, yeah, maybe they switch it up. They say, hey, Mercy, we showed our stuff here on the Zarus, but maybe let's change to a different hero after that. I'm going to be looking at BKB. He's the assassin specialist there in the offlane, loves to play the Ure, has been sticking on that pretty heavily here, but they've been putting him on the Kwong, kind of locking him down there with that character who has the highest win rate so far in the tournament.
So far, Kwong's been putting up the results. If you're looking for a character to kind of get you through some of these tougher spots, maybe that's the way to go. But at the same time, I'm a big proponent of comfort picks. If you like it and you're comfortable playing it, that's always going to be better than the one that's putting up results right now. And frankly, they're kind of in a nice spot here, Flowstate, because one of Mercy's favorite characters is that Rampage, who's doing so well across multiple roles right now. It's a double-edged sword because he's also getting banned out so much.
That is very true. So expect to see the Countess ban, the Rampage ban, the Fang Mao ban, which Mercy also loves, and then the Wukong as well. I want to switch over to the Professors now here, my friend. We've glazed the Flowstate team a little bit, enough right now, but the Professors, the big thing I've been seeing from them is the Shimby in the offlane, proficiency, doing work, playing that character 3 times so far, and doing it to perfection.
Yeah, frankly, we were looking at a few of their scrims. We saw some of the things they were putting up. They really like those evasive, mobile characters in that off lane of the jungle. We saw those Wukongs coming through. And it really looked like a core 3 where you're kind of trying to bait those fights, keep everyone alive. We've seen that Narbash coming through.
Yeah.
Not in the jungle. But you know what? We don't have to speculate anymore. We got a draft right here in front of us. Let's see what comes through with the start. We do want to kind of keep focusing on the professors over here.
Right.
What do you think they're going to be looking at?
They might prioritize that Shinbi first. Could be. I think maybe the mid lane, Soul Reaper and Crazy Fool are kind of the more vocal players on this team. So they're the ones calling the shots, and usually you want to make them feel most comfortable.
That's true.
So they might be prioritizing them, but we are going to the picks or the bans first, rather. And this is nothing out of the ordinary as this lane has evolved. The players have decided these guys just can't play the game.
Well, this is very interesting. I like what Professor's done here. They took away the Zarus, and Mercy's been playing it, get it off the board. I don't like what Flowstate has done here in banning the Rampage themselves. They have that first pick. They can go for it if they want it and force the Professors to ban it if they don't want it. Instead, it looks like they're looking for that Kwang. You mentioned it. We'll be going over into BKB's hands once again.
Yeah, and you can flex him into support. We know Peak, he was kind of the aficionado, the one that really said, hey, this guy is kind of nasty over here in the support lane during the summer series, and then people have kind of adopted it after that. So a good flex opening pick here for Flowstate can really go across the map. On the other side, though, we are seeing the Richter. We know Crazy Fool. He is famous for the sticky Rick right there. And then we have the Gideon Soul Reaper. He's just a tried and true mid laner. That's what we expected their opener to be, those two characters.
Yeah, no surprises there. I do really like this Decker pick from Peak, especially going into that Richter. As long as you keep your distance and make sure you're not the one getting pulled, you can negate just about any Riplash that hits by just launching that stasis bomb right as it pulls them in, and they got no follow-up off of that. Aurora gets locked on as well. We've seen a few spicy picks happen, right, Philly? We've seen Decker mids, we've seen Aurora supports. What are you looking at right now?
I actually love this Aurora pick just for what you mentioned. Another character that can flex to a lot of roles. Can go off lane, can go support, can go jungle, and we know Mercy is an Aurora specialist, dude. Some of those glacial walls have cut objectives, team fights in half, and helped them win multiple games, multiple series, multiple prize dollars. It could go to the Mercy in the jungle. On the other side, we're seeing Fang Mao, one of the tried and true assassins, the big player here in this tournament, banned and picked multiple times. I think he's over like 25 in terms of how many times he's banned and picked. Creed is my X factor here on the Professors, okay? He's not necessarily an unknown player. If you talk to any of these guys, they know who he is, but maybe for the viewers at home, you may not have seen his name. He's not streaming, whatever. He's wearing his glasses. He's got his hood up, but he is locked and dialed in, and the Fang Mao is exactly who you want on your X factor player.
Yeah, we've talked about the history of these teams. Professors have multiple championships under their belts across their team, except for Creed. It's not because of a lack of skill, it's because he's newer to the scene. So seeing what he's got to bring out today is going to be a really big moment for him. And on something like this Fang Mao that can be so explosive and can really take over these games, I think that's a great look.
I love it. And we're seeing the Shinbi ban here in Phase 2 from Flowstate because they've seen what Proficiency has done in the off lane. They're like, all right, we got to get this guy. These guys have done their homework. So they're picking up the Terra here at the end. Very interesting matchup, whether she goes into the Kwang or the Aurora, because it's like, okay, do you build the Terra to go full tank? Do you kind of build her a Bruiser hybrid? She doesn't necessarily want to build magical armor all the time, but she definitely can, and she's going to have to against either of those characters if they're matched up in the offlane there. So we are seeing a Rena. Hasn't had much success so far in this tournament. Flowstate looking to make it work.
I'll have to see what they've got for us here. I do like the Rena pick coming up here. If you need results, you might as well. Talked about X Factors, bring it back in. It hasn't seen success today, but hasn't been Flowstate playing this Rena either. I think this is one of the first times Flowstate's picked it up.
Simba's actually a specialist on this. Simba is the mid laner here for Flowstate, a specialist on this character. He's the Joker. He's the lighthearted member of that team, and so he's really looking to just have fun with it, and this character allows him to do it. You'll probably see him do Orb of Enlightenment and Orb of Growth in that mid lane to help him scale, get that power online, and also heal himself with the ability of that item. Then maybe go Tainted Scepter, Megacosm, things like that. But he's a great facilitator. He sets up the fights really well, and combine that with the Decker, it's going to be a little bit scary, and I think that's why they pick up the Terra here, because she can kind of go unstoppable, fight through some of that CC, and get to the backline on this Wraith, the big poke master. He's going to be the primary target.
Biggest problem with this Terra is going to be those walls thrown up in her face. Can't walk through those. They're not true CC. But you talked about having fun with it. Let's have a little bit more fun, Philly. I think it's time to send it back to Ego for an interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I am here with Grady, jungler from Mythic.
With Apartments.com capturing the hearts of hundreds of millions of renters, everybody wants the secret to our success, but they're never going to get it. Will they, Craig?
No, sir.
Or the secret to the most rental listings.
There's more?
Not to mention our secrets for making renting easier with Matterport 3D virtual tours and online applications.
Oh, this is good.
Yay! Yay! Apartments.com. Ooh, the place to find a place.
Oh yeah, you're looking at one of the newest reasons to love Red Lobster. New seafood boils, turning Crab Fest into a crab feast. That's the look of real happiness. Served daily only at Red Lobster.
Summer's here, and it's time to bring the heat in a stylish new Honda from the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into your local Honda dealer today during the summer event.
PCC champion, also a great PPL host, brother. How are you feeling today, man?
I would say I'm feeling pretty good. A little disappointed about our results yesterday, but otherwise I'm really happy to be at this event, to be honest.
I mean, dude, it's a fantastic event to be able to be at. The competition feels like it has gotten significantly more stiff within the predecessor community. Do you have anything you would like to add on to that? Agree, disagree?
Honestly, I would say yes. Like, it is getting to the point where teams aren't able to win just based off of individual skill. Like, it really does actually come down to teamwork and how teams mesh. In the past, in a lot of PCCs and just other events, teams were able to kind of band-aid fix things and work around things, like when they're not able to work well together based off of their own individual skill. And I mean, as you can see, like, my team was supposed to be one of the favorites.
Yes, sir.
But we always had a little bit of a dysfunction. We would end up not working well, not meshing well together in scenarios, and it would show. But sometimes we were able to use our individual skill to just kind of win games that way. And I mean, like, you saw teams like Professors and MTG, they were dialed in together well as a team. And I mean, they just took us out 2-0 both times. So
I mean, they did both perform extremely well. Professor is going to be actually now having to play against Flowstate in this next upcoming match. Talking about the land, talking about the tournament, how important it has been for the community to be able to see all of these players come together. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. I'm going to give you one of those like 10 words or less, but I won't lance you directly. Out of the remaining 6 teams, which one is your favorite to run away with this?
That one's a really hard question. I know you said you put me on the spot. I would have to probably go with Sin.
Sin?
I think Sin, when they're actually locked in and they're playing their game, I mean, that's a bunch of PCC champions as well. I mean, M is in addition, Two Hands in addition. And I think both of those guys are really good at what they do. When they all come together, I think they're really hard to beat, and they showed that yesterday. So I would say definitely got to be Sin for me. Like, I love the rest of my boys, but it's got to be Sin.
All right, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys heard it here first. Sin may be a problem either one of these teams have to worry about down the line. But for now, we have Professors versus Flowstate, and HD Philly and Spooky to take it away from here.
I don't know about you, Philly, but I was counting, and we definitely passed the 10-word mark there. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you, Grady, for joining us. I mean, you heard it there. Sin, possibly a favorite, but these two teams also been very much in that conversation as well. Very excited to see what we got coming up here.
Absolutely. I mean, you and I, we were in the After Hours cast last night, so we were last there bidding you a good night, and we're here bidding you a good morning, good afternoon, or whatever it is across the world. But Sin, just absolutely dominant right now throughout this. They have just stomped kids into the dirt through each and every match. So I expect them to make a deep run. They'll probably face Immune in that upper bracket final. That one is going to be a heater, so look forward to that. As we talk a little bit more about the draft here, it's a full dive composition for the side of Professors. They can go in with the Gideon, they can go in with the Gideon, they can go in with the Fang Mao and the Terra, but this is the Richter's kind of the X factor here, because they could also play a little bit patient, and they can then go and look for a hook, try to fish, bring somebody in, then do a wild rush, stun them down, whatever it is. But also, he's their only tank.
Yeah.
For it depends on how Tara builds, right?
Depends on
Sorry,
the Tara
don't
build.
blame me, chat. Sorry, she could go hybrid bruiser like we talked about. She goes full magical,
All right, I've seen your
resist,
bruiser
things like that. But that could be a good front line. But the reason why I said he's the only tank is because I'm talking about the peel. How is he going to protect the back line? This Drongo can be very vulnerable at times, so that Richter is going to have to play really well to keep him alive, where the Terra, I'm imagining, is just going to bum rush people, try to get into the back line, take down the Wraith, etc. So that's how that interplay is going to work. We always talk about that Venn diagram. What do I want to do to beat you? What do you want to do to beat me? And how do we counter each other with the compositions that we have here today?
I just do it that way, personally. I'm not good enough with the game. That's why I'm up here. I do want to talk about Flowstate draft a little bit, though, because you were talking last night about the poke meta that's kind of coming up here. We see a lot of that with Flowstate. You've got the Wraith, you've got the Decker. You can both launch damage from very far away. Even this Rena can kind of sit back, toss that coil out, and just watch the poke damage rack up. And I'm looking at the walls they have as well. This Terra, I worry, is not going to be able to dive as effectively as they want to. Is that going to be the case? I mean, let's find out.
And I love, that's a fantastic point there, Spooky, because that Glacial Charge is going to be so impactful to keeping Terra out of the fight. The containment fence for the Decker going to be instrumental here as well. So the Terra, it could be a great pick to get past that CC, but it's going to be very difficult to find their way into some of these engagements. We do have Pacifist here with us today doing our camera work, so we thank him. Yeah, he played our practice match, absolutely smashed it on the steel. I'm not seeing too many things out of the ordinary between these squads. Bring the Boom was recently buffed here on the side of the Drongo. Going to do a little bit more of that AoE damage, so we'll see how that goes. An Imperial Duelist, so that tells me Mercy's looking to take 1v1 engagements in the jungle. He really wants to press the issue.
I want to circle back to that Drongo augment a little bit, because one thing it does do is it makes him a little bit more vulnerable, not having that shrapnel cannon augment where you can just constantly knock yourself back. But I look at the draft from Flowstate and I think to myself, well, what does he really need to get away from at this point? Obviously, there's the Kwang and the Aurora, but a lot of that feels like they're going to be separating the fights and making sure that the front line of Professors can't run them. It actually feels like there's a lot of room for Survivor to play this game.
I think what he's doing for that augment is to win the lane, because the problem with Drongo is that you have to build Boomerang, scale all of your abilities into that to then get your wave clear up. Crazy Fool is not going to feel very content to step up and hit creeps, because Peak on the Decker just has so much lane pressure, and he can get stunned very easily. He's a big body, so it's going to be very difficult to get that priority in the lane. So I think that Bring the Boom will help explode the creeps. It's like a mini Malady almost, right? Or Mind Razor. It helps clear the waves a little bit harder for him. We're seeing some rotation here on the map. The Fang Valley's peeking here, but I don't think he's going to engage just yet. A Riplash, though.
That's going to connect, and Peek's in a bad spot. Health already low. Maguli steps in front, body blocks for his support. Nice disruption goes through just to push the aggression away. Flowstate going to hold on to that first blood for now. Their eyes, though, Mercy, a little bit. Not going to find too much here.
That was a beautiful dance there in the duo lane, but still, it's going to be all in here. The coil is out. Simba making the rotation. The blink is huge. Can they find the first blood? They do.
Proficiency goes into the grave early on, and Soul Reaper looking for another return kill here. Mercy very low, and that's a trade back. 2 for 1 now. Soul Reaper does have the Torn Space out, but BKB has returned. Simba looking to cut off the retreat path. There's nowhere for Soul Reaper to go. His escape is down. All he can do is run away in the wrong direction. Creed has made the rotation, but it's too little, too late. Tether comes down and puts Soul Reaper in the ground. And you find another kill. This is just keep on going. Kills across the map, my friends. It's a bloodbath.
Welcome to NA Predecessor in its full sense. It's the minute 1 mark. That was everybody dying across the map. That absolutely insane. Simba's still going here. What are you doing, brother?
The root connected. Simba is under the tower. He's going to fall down. Can the tower shot get it? Boom, boom, baby. That's how we do it in NA.
Oh, my goodness. And I love that cheeky play there from Simba, trying to go under his tower, and he does get the kill in the end. He gets the credit for it to boot. But like we said, he's a Rena aficionado. He understands this character. He loves the kit that she provides. We're seeing a quick look at the gold disparity here, and the kills already 5-4. That's absolutely bananas over here.
Kills over minutes.
Kills over minutes, and we love to see that. What a way to open the finals day of the LAN.
I mean, this is Flowstate, though, right? They want to fight. They want to get scrappy. Mercy wants to get active, and this is them playing their game. Sure, they trade back some kills on it, but they still get what they want out of it here. This is them hitting They're Flowstate.
They have to be locked in because they weren't. Yesterday, Simba was like sleeping in the crowd. They were waiting for their matches. Proficiency taking the 1v1. BKB, not long for the world.
Not long at all. Proficiency going to send him back to the base the hard way. Mercy is looking to try to return the kill here. Link is not available for Proficiency. Keep that in mind. Look for the Glacial Charge. Cuts him off. Doesn't quite catch the dash. And Creed is here to make sure his solo laner gets out of dodge nice and easy. And Mercy's still kind of looking.
And he has to stay here to protect the lane, which means he's not going to his jungle to clear the camps, which could allow Creed to go invade should he please. Now we have another engagement here. These two, they're going to be traded in just a little bit. But BKB, my friend, he's fallen deathly behind early on.
Yeah, it's not a great look for your Kwang, who wants to really be active and in there. 2 levels down is not where you want to be on this Kwang. You want to be able to be the initiator. You want to take those dives. And if you are this far behind, that becomes very difficult to do.
Absolutely. And I'll be curious to see how he builds from here. Is he going to go defensive item first because he's feeling scared in lane?
No, that's weak.
I know BKB. He is a assassin player at heart, so he's going to go for as much damage and ability power as he possibly can. But sometimes when you get focus fired like that, you get so much pressure and dedication to your lane, you do feel discouraged, and you feel like you have to go for a defensive item early on. We see Crazy Fool. He's going to be looking for a hook.
He'll be looking, but he's not going to find it. That stealth coming out from Maguli going to keep him alive. Peek covering this area here, but you can see the ward there. BKB again being run at. Proficiency not letting him play the game. The root connects, but the tether is good enough. Sword in the ground makes him step back.
I love this because the offlane never gets the justice that it deserves. It's such a
It's 4:49 a.m. Let's go. First is Celsius. No sugar, all the good stuff. 12 miles. 6 comes easy, the next 6 punish. Quick change, back to work. I've got a goal to hit and a deck to conquer. Work late, but still make it to meet the girls out. Hey, it's cardio.
So this is exactly what your mouth had in mind. That hazelnutty, crispy, chocolatey, creamy. Irresistibly one of a kind. Irresistibly bueno.
Oh, hi. I'm just not good at this.
Who's your good boys?
Your turn.
Who's a good boy? I think I'm supposed to give you this? I think he's the one.
Shave it, tear it, pull it, hide it, wax it. Spend hours doing it. Shave it again, and again, and again. Or just start being you, without putting yourself through the hassle. Because Philips Lumea Gentle Light put hairs to rest, so you can enjoy long-lasting, hair-free, smooth skin. Be free in your own skin.
Nuanced part of the game, right? And being able to recognize where the weak point is on the team or where you need to focus to shut somebody down because they're just that strong. This is a huge one here, though, my friend.
Oh, Creed just spell shields that. Not going to get rooted down, but Mercy is taking the fight over to him. Got the help. Good. Reaping Dash gets Creed out of danger there. So far, no one takes too much of a beating. You see that Fangtooth is up for about a minute here. And you can see how that's changed the dynamic. Off lane, who needs to be there? It's all about this duo side now.
Yeah, because you have to get priority in the lane. You have to poke the other members out so they don't feel healthy enough to go after this Fangtooth. And with the Fang Mao not at level 6, he couldn't have the execute, didn't go for it there, whereas the Cryospasm was expended, and that kind of pushed him away.
That's good enough, though. If you're able, look at Mercy. Glacial Charge comes in, looking to cut off the path, but doesn't find the root again. Crazy Fool, though, does get knocked around. And the containment fence cuts off his escape path. Good gag grenade. Make sure Mercy can't do too much, but Simba has made the rotation in as well. The Mez connects, and Prof goes down. Survivor falls. And now it's Crazy Fool trying to take the steps forward, but Maguli, knock to the back, puts you right back where you came from.
Soul Reaper was caught in 2 minds there because the wave was kind of pushing in. He's like, I gotta protect my tower. So he didn't follow the rotation as quickly from Simba. You could see how active he gets on this character. You didn't know this floaty witch could be rotating across the map, but Simba gets it done there in the duo, opens up the Fang.
And that's a great look for them. Takes up the kills in their favor. Should be the first Fangtooth going their way as well. Creed is back up, but not going to make that rotation instead. Splitting the map, wants to go for that mini prime. And frankly, if you give that over to proficiency on this Terra, who's already doing quite a lot of work in that off lane, that's probably an okay trade.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to take that every day of the week, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it on Creed as well. The best thing about Feng Mao is you want to facilitate him early so he can get those passive stacks and really snowball. But, my friend, you called it correctly. You know this game. It's going on proficiency. They're looking to put the hurting on there in the off lane. I did see the Magnify there for Mercy. That's really showing me he wants to go for the shred. He really wants to put in a lot of damage because he knows he's going to get those movement stacks because he's rotating around the map.
Yeah, you know, I want to kind of call out the Omnivamp on that as well, because the way that we're seeing Creed play this right now, he wants to take those 1v1s, he wants to take those extended fights.
Yeah.
Getting that extra sustain to try to out-damage him, maybe not just in the damage output, but by the healing you're getting, can really start to push things in your favor. I like what's going on here, and I like Creed making another trip over to this duo lane.
Absolutely, and I do want to talk about that Imperial Duelist augment that Feng Mao has, because I think that's why that lifesteal is going to be very important, because you're going to be taking more damage when you take those 1v1s against Creed. So if you have that lifesteal, you'll be able to sustain a little bit longer. Maybe reinforcements can arrive. Or if I know Mercy, he'll take any 1v1 he can. And speaking of 1v1s, these two going at it once more.
BKB pushed back under his tower once again, but Simba is making that rotation over. Proficiency, gonna have to watch out. Quill comes down to cut off the escape route, as does get some good damage out, but there's not a whole lot to follow it up with. Gonna have to take their steps back. Meanwhile, dual lane has some sparks flying over here. Crazy Fool already low, but he goes forward into the danger zone because Soul Reaper is here to open the black hole and shut down your health bar. Maguli drops, and Creed is all the way forward. Can you find the last damage? No! Peak somehow able to get out of dodge, but the rock right on his head!
My goodness, I thought Peak was going to get out of there, but expert ability usage for the side of Soul Reaper. If you don't follow your opposing mid laner, the best thing you can do is rotate somewhere else, and he does just that. They full send it into the duo lane, and they get the work done.
Beautiful rotation, too. They found nothing on Flowstate side, going to that right side. Proficiency able to get his way out of there, holds on to that mini prime buff, and Soul Reaper finds everything they're looking for on that left lane. That's enough to even this game out. One objective to one, 7-7. This is anybody's game.
It does not get any better than this, Spooky
What a
Mars.
start.
Oh my goodness, I love this combustion being looked at by Soul Reaper to help his lane clear just a little bit more against the Rena, who's can be very oppressive there. We did see the Orb of Growth, so she's looking to get those stacks, but if you're rotating a lot, might be difficult to do so. But I trust Simba. This guy knows this game like the back of his hand. So we're at a level point of the match here, my friend. No objectives on the board. I'm really going to be looking at the junglers. Right now we're seeing an invade here by Mercy. We're looking at the hunts as well. Both of them have the upgraded one, so they have that 1,000 damage should they need it.
And that's exactly what you're looking for. We saw a game earlier where maybe we didn't see that come through. Not going to be the case here. So now these objectives starting to come back up. Seeing these junglers try to get a little active. Your eyes on Creed there. He's making the rotation over, but he's being followed by quite a few members. Simba and Mercy can both collapse in on this.
Let's see if the Kwang feels strength, has the strength enough to even go on it. He does have his ultimate available, but I think they're really creating space here to just allow him to farm. It's going to be a 2v2.
They do catch proficiency on the Glacial Charge. It's going to be a split fight. Turn their eyes around. Force Creed into the teleporter. Can you follow him? No, you are not going to do it. It's going to take all the way to the left side. Soul Reaper's made his rotation over, not going to find too much.
And that it's like a shift in basketball, right? Everybody finds
I don't
their
watch
zone. Neither do I, but no, just kidding. But so the dual lane shifts over, knowing that the teleport is coming in, so that they can clear the wave there, allow the Drongo to still continue to get farm safely, and then then they can move back over, knowing that the wave will be pushed into them. They can get more farm safely. It's all about getting Drongo into this comfortable position. Once again, proficiency under duress here. He might go down.
You said comfortable position. They want BKB in a comfortable position, and that starts by putting proficiency in a bad one. Reaper tries to come over a little late on that, not going to be able to find the damage. That's what BKB needs, though. He needs some space in this lane. Luckily, he's able to stick around, try to get some of this farm, try to get some XP online so he can start contesting against Proficiency, who's just been taking it to him this entire game.
Yeah, and he did go Cresselia first, which, has a little bit defensive abilities. The blink expended there. Soul Reaper looking for blood.
Yeah, it's a little greedy sticking around with Soul Reaper in the area. Look at that health bar. That's not a health I like to be at personally. I think Reaper would like him a little lower as well, but we're talking about health bars. Let's look at a Fangtooth bar. That one's going to start getting dropped down. You can see Professor's on the way here, but they're going to be a little late.
And I like this positioning, right? Maguli's in a safe spot. He knows he can poke from range. Peak is going to play bodyguard. And then Mercy, should they need it, be able to glacial charge this, right? And there it goes, the Fangtooth secured.
secured, but now there's a fight in it. Blaze Charge comes through to separate the fight. Crazy Fool locked in with Creed, but Creed's taking the fight over. Big Abyssal Rift comes through. Simba gets the kill. It's Maguli who helps him out. Crazy Fool comes in, looking to try to collapse into this fight, and Reaper opens the black hole. Professors get to sit pretty and just keep taking their shots. They're free casting, but so is Maguli. It's a triple kill for Survivor. Can he make it a quadra? Triple for triple, but baby, it's gotta end.
Oh my goodness, this is just crazy. Quadra kill from Maguli. He was free firing in the backline. Peak will be able to get out of dodge.
Quadra for quadra!
That is insane work here in the pit. I gotta highlight Crazy Fool in that fight, really separating the squads, but Maguli just popping over the top, taking shot after shot, and they couldn't dive him, they couldn't get to him, right? And then they were able to protect him there. Peak doing a really good job of doing so. That's an absolutely crazy battle there over the Fangtooth.
Man, these ADCs are cooking in this game right now. Both of them definitely online after that fight. 4 kills each is gonna push so much damage through. Professors now who get to take that first step, looking towards this mini prime, try to get it into their hands. I'd like to see it on proficiency again, but it goes to Creed.
What a call there from Professors, really trying to push the tempo. In that previous engagement in the Fangtooth pits, they focused BKB again. They do not want this kid to play the game. My goodness.
He's a menace.
He is a menace. They have to shut the door on him. Giving Creed the buff here, maybe he's going to help try to push some towers if he can help win some of the lanes here, but it's going to be really tough. I mean, going against Simba, he can stupor you, he can push you away, things like that. I don't know, but I think he can get the ganks done. He's an incredible player.
Yeah, I think what we really just need is an opportunity for BKB to leave this lane again.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets out, I mean, he's brought himself back up. He's only about half a level behind proficiency right now, and that's where the value of your offlaners is going to be shown, is when you get out of that lane. Sure, you can split push all game if you want. You can take the 1v1s all game if you want, but BKB doesn't want to do that right now. And around these team fights is where that tether's going to be big, and that dive is really going to come in. So, oh my God, Survivor, you got a quadra kill. Can you find a way out of this one? Big kill onto Maguli. Creed gonna take that one. Stasis Bomb trying to find some space, but there's not any for Peak. Knocks one up, but Mercy doesn't find the root again. That's a double for Creed.
And that's what we were talking about. He's going to be looking to push pressure in one of the lanes and then use that prime buff to then take a tower down. And you know the duo, they were cooking in the last fight. You got to put them under pressure. BKB has faced enough of it. They feel like for this point, the mid laner's going at it now.
And take a look at this level.
The root.
Disparity. That's so much damage. Stasis comes through, but it isn't going to be enough. Abyssal Rift used for the safety. Teleport comes through. And honestly, you got to do it.
Yeah. You have to survive so you can reset and get back to lane, because his tower, he has the tower advantage. It's just, we're still going here, Spooky.
Why is still here? Why are we still doing this fight?
Whoa!
Oh, it's not enough. Blink forward from Mercy secures the kill. Excellent try from Crazy Fool.
Oh, he did everything he could to peel for the Fang Mao, but that red buff there doing some of the work, putting in that tick damage. But oh my goodness, though. So now the prime buff is off the board here.
Off the board.
Oh, but Crazy Fool, he is sticky with the hooks. We said it at the top of the program.
Man, I really want to highlight the level gap between mid right now. Soul Reaper up 2 levels.
Hey, it's your skin. I want to feel extra clean, but will it leave me stripped? I'm craving a cleanse with CeraVe Foaming Cleanser. Developed with dermatologists, cleanses and removes excess oil with niacinamide, known to keep me calm, and 3 essential ceramides. CeraVe prevents disruption of my natural barrier, so we're refreshingly clean. CeraVe Clean.
CeraVe Foaming Cleanser from the #1 dermatologist-recommended skincare brand.
And now, introducing new CeraVe Anti-Dandruff Hair Care.
Over Simba. And Simba's been very active. He's been rotating, trying to find a lot of assists, trying to find some kills. But it has led to him missing out on a lot of minions right now. And I have to wonder how that's going to impact these fights as the game goes on.
Sure, well, it's delayed his Orb of Growth, which he just went back to base to get the Orb of Enlightenment. So that's a huge pickup for him. That's really going to help him scale, get that magic power as he moves throughout the game. So now he's going to feel pretty buffed up. He's going to be looking to put the hurting on, but he expended that ultimate, which we know can use offensive. You saw there defensively as well. They might wait for that ultimate to come back online before they engage, but the Fangtooth timer, my friend, it's an inch from being there. Will they have the timings lined up to get it done?
Now, it doesn't look like it. In fact, Flowstate Trying to make that rotation over. Secure vision around the Fangtooth. Make sure you're taking down the enemy wards because you want to be there first. You want to have the better positioning. The best way to secure a Fangtooth and make it difficult for your opponents to get in is to make them wonder where you are around that.
Absolutely, and with Mercy on the Aurora, they know they need the priority in the positioning because they can section people off and secure the Fangtooth just that much more. We do see the hunts online. I was looking at the ultimates here as well. Cryoseism is available. The Black Hole, though, is available. Finally, the Abyssal Wrist is on. Let's see if they get it done.
Oh, no! Maguli gets picked real early.
Yikes.
Root comes through as Mercy makes the rotation. Reaper goes forward to open the Black Hole on 2 targets, and it's a swarm forward. Double kill for Survivor. He's the multi-kill king. Can he find a third
get
one?
back here.
Boom, triple kill.
My.
Now there's a 4th target in the fight. Simba, though, just buying time, has to step back. That's a Fangtooth for Professors.
Absolutely. BKB is like, hey guys, I'm coming, but he's just being run down. He's being chased, like being bullied out here. He might actually not survive, Spooky. Simba is here with the Soul Fire. Oh, the Fury of the Heavens.
Oh my God, Proficiency doesn't quite get that kill, but now Simba's the one in a bad spot. He's going to be able to sneak his way back out of that one. But what a tragic fight for Flowstate. You said it, BKB trying to make that rotation over. It looks more like he's being chased out.
Yeah. So really tough for him. They get the tier 1 and they get the Fangtooth. That's exactly the fight they were looking for. The Drongo. A lot of people are like, nah, he's kind of bad. Maybe he's kind of good. The rewind, though, here on Soul Reaper, he used the torn space.
Gotta find your shots. Gotta hit the last one. Boom, boom. That's all it takes. Axe doesn't connect. That's massive for Maguli, especially on that Soul Reaper target who's been doing so much work here.
Absolutely. I still want to highlight this Drongo, right? Because 50% of the teams are like, hey, I know you do. You're an ADC player, and I'm a support. Maybe that's why we're best buds. But that's the thing with him. It's like, he's 50% of the players think he's good, 50% think he's bad. Right now, Survivor making him look really good.
He's doing fantastic work right now. And I think, honestly, the amount of kills he's getting, these multi-kills, comes from that buffed Rad Rounds. The explosion it's doing in that AoE is doing so much AoE damage that he typically doesn't have, and you're seeing it put in so many results.
Absolutely, and I would love to see Survivor at some point standing up and shush the crowd because this is a silence duo, right? You got Shock's Therapy to start the silence. You put the gag grenade on top, then you lock them in with the skewer. They can't cast any abilities, they can't do anything, and then you just eliminate him here. The Mini Prime is going to be up. Can they do it before he gets big?
I mean, I don't think there's a way for BKB to contest this one, so this should be nice and easy for Professors to secure this. Peek is looking. He's peeking, if you will. But that's the Mini Prime, easily secured by the Professors. Now, once again, onto Creed. That's going to be pressure in every lane he wants to visit.
Yeah, except for in the duo lane, Maguli, he's just trying to press the issue. He's got to get some of the lane pressure in their favor. That's been where their Achilles heel is so far in this map. They just haven't been able to push the lanes in their favor so they can make those rotations. Creed, though, he wants to find something across the map. If you can find Maguli in the jungle there, that could be disastrous here for Flowstate. We always talk about, my friend, the tug, the push and pull of MOBAs. If I'm taking one objective, you know you got to grab another across the map. So they do trade a tier 1 tower, but they get the Mini Prime. You think that's maybe a more favorable trade, even with the adjustments to how those neutral objectives work?
I mean, it depends on what you can get with that Mini Prime, right? If Professors are able to bring that pressure, there's still, despite the pressure BKB is under, a tier 1 on that right side of the map. Should be easy to take it down. It's super low. This fight now coming on through. Simba finds Soul Reaper. Can you find a way forward? Nice pick. What more can you get off of it? No objectives up, or Prime does spawn in.
So this is what they're trying to do is take down this mid-tier 1 tower because, like we said, this is the most pivotal lane across the map. It gives you vision, it gives you control for the neutral objectives moving forward. So you're like, okay, we got the Mini Prime, maybe let's press the issue, but Soul Reaper, he got found out. The Mez, incredible. But now Flowstate's like, all right, we got the pick. We'll take the tower. Thank you very much.
Nice little play from Flowstate, and frankly, I'm surprised they're doing as much as they are without Maguli around, because if you're listening to their comms, very frequently you'll hear, play through Maguli. Wait for Maguli to come online. He's our guy. Right now, they've changed things up, and maybe it's because they're in this loser's bracket. They're not waiting. They're saying, we've got to do this ourselves. We're a team, and we're going to play like it.
And this is kind of the immune special. They do this kind of 4 protect 1 style where they do everything they can to try to give Maguli the space that he needs to scale into this match, because once he gets a couple items online, those knock-knocks, you could take people down in 2 shots basically. So he does have the Infernum and now the Perforator as well.
Oh, man.
Yikes down.
We are doing damage. Yeah, if you're building tank, no, you're not. And that's really kind of critical, especially for what Proficiency's been doing through this game so far, just running at people. The bigger problem, I think, though, is still Crazy Fool. It's not a matter of oh, can we make the distance away from Proficiency? It's, can we keep our distance away from Crazy Fool and whatever crazy people he has at his back ready to beat us up as soon as he gets us.
Yeah, and he's got the Unbroken Will as his second item here to kind of give him that more tenacity, give him some more durability if he does get stunned out, because you're facing a Decker after all. Peak is someone we haven't really been able to highlight so far in this match. He's doing a lot of work, but it's just been from the backline, really just tossing in spells and abilities and setting things up here. Going for the Cresselia first, a bold tactic for him, but you know, he's such a good player. He knows he's hitting every single shot, so he's going to get that work done here. We're setting up here for the Primal Fangtooth already.
Big one, 22 minutes in, fourth Fangtooth. This one's the big one. Professors, you can see on the map, they're late get into this one again. Flowstate want to start this up, but if they can find more X kills like they did last time, Professors are okay with that. Black hole opens up, and Mercy trying to catch him as he comes back down. Fangtooth still spitting some damage out as the teams begin to collapse at Peak. He said, I want my highlight, baby. Take Soul Reaper out of this one.
There it is.
Crazy Fool getting low as well. But Survivor has come through, and Creed is running down Flowstate. Where are your team members now? In the sky is where we are, but he doesn't find the kill.
Come on.
Stasis comes through. Good dodge to keep him alive. Takes out Creed. Proficiency, the last man standing.
Huge. They get so many exit frags after that, but Flowstate, they secure the Fangtooth, so I think they're okay.
I don't think they did.
No.
With the Proficiency.
Oh, what?
Professors have it.
The flame. It's burning bright here for the dust side. My goodness. Well, then, oh, hell, that's a huge win there for the Professors. They get the kills, and they get the Fang. Oh, my.
A full ace. Okay, I guess you don't really have the Primal because 4 people died.
True.
But Proficiency does still have it around him, so if you're looking for some fights, if you want to push this a little bit further, you have the tools for it.
Absolutely. Now Proficiency. He's
don't double up.
He's pressing the issue here. He's taken all the jungle away from Mercy. And I think that's a really safe play because he's not showing himself on the map, so they don't know where he is, but he's getting levels, gold, experience, you know, all that jazz. In that fight, BKB once again focused out. He couldn't do what he needed to do. Mercy split the fight immaculately, sectioned out Soul Reaper, then Crazy Fool ran in. They were able to chunk him down really well, but BKB was just not able to find purchase in these engagements.
And it feels like it's the result of that lane phase where he's just so far behind. He doesn't have the items he wants online right now. So even if he can get into position, he doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the survivability to do his job in these fights. That said, it's not all doom and gloom. It's still a very close fight. Sure. Now Mercy has to be careful not to get caught here, but the root connects. Can the Whiplash come through? No, sir. Mercy gonna have the space to walk away, but the Ore Prime nonetheless will be started.
And we're looking at all the ultimate check marks here. Everybody lit up in blue, friends. So this is gonna be another firework of a contest over this neutral objective. Did they poke out Mercy enough? He's feeling maybe not so bold to dive in on this just yet.
Blues are up, but the blinks are down, and that means Flowstate wants to get in. Containment fence
Oh,
comes
Mercy,
up,
no!
but Survivor says, nah, man, this is my objective. You get out of here. And Professors wrap that one up easy.
And I know BKB is scolding Mercy right now, being like, brother, I was not there, do not go in. But he was like, you know, Mercy, he's always like, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. That time, there was a great call from the Professor to say, turn, kill, go, and then they burned down the Prime after that. So now everybody buffed in purple for them.
It's going to be a tough defense from Flowstate now. The good news for them is it's not the double buff, right? Sure, Proficiency has it for a little bit longer, but that should be fading away pretty quickly. You've got to hold on to your inhibitors most of all. These tier 2s, you can put up a soft defense around them, but at this state of the game, they're not worth dying for. Do your poke damage and just use that as extra space to see if you can set up a good fight.
Yeah, they're time wasters, basically. How can we wait out this purple buff, right? These tier 2s, they're going to be...
Tier 2s are so unloved, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're really the punching bag. Sort of like BKB has been in this game. Sorry, brother. But, yeah, you're going to gladly give those up to waste this purple buff and then mount your defense at your inhibitors. So we'll be looking forward to that as we take a look at the items across the board here. Survivor getting really buffed up. We're looking at the gold, only about a 6K.
Oily and dry? Yep, it's me, your combination skin. New revolutionary CeraVe Air Foam Cleanser with glycolysine and 3 essential ceramides. It locks in hydration and brings the balance we need. With 8-hour oil control plus 24-hour hydration. New CeraVe Balancing Air Foam Cleanser.
Introducing a collab like no other collab before. A collab that makes sense. Milkbone Peanut Buttery Bites. The collab by Milkbone and Jif.
It's a big match, and only the best will win.
Just blaze Godzilla bankroll, stole some Chili on. Yo, I ain't got it all. That means
advantage, but there's still a lot of standing gold on the board here for both sides. They can easily level that economic disparity.
Uh-oh, we've been caught out here. And they go ahead and take a jump away.
Yikes.
Charge comes through, but the skewer is going to make sure Mercy doesn't get out of dodge. Now, once again, a 4v5 for the Flowstate boys. And I want to point out, we did see Soul Reaper has that Noxia online. There's a lot of burst damage that can come through right now. That makes this defense so difficult to manage.
Absolutely, yeah, that ability damage is absolute fire. That Crazy Fool, dude, this guy on the Richter is an animal. If that connected right on cue, it would have been crazy. But
disgusting.
They do get the 2 towers, right? They're working on both angles. They're doing a 1-to-4 split push here. The big thing when you mount a defense against the purple is you have to go for the creeps. We're engaging here now.
Survivor super low right now, but do they have the damage? Yes, they
Huge.
do. That's the pick they needed. A big shutdown. Now the fight has to continue. Stasis comes in, but the Abyssal Rift keeps on blasting, and Maguli's got the shots to back him up. This fight might just be Flowstate looking for it. Just need to keep pushing. Peak finds the Photon Disruptor, and all of a sudden BKB reminds you, I'm still here!
Huge defense from the side of Flowstate. They gave up those tier 2s.
Another quadra kill from, oh my God, Maguli!
They are keeping him safe. They are running the distraction squad to perfection here right now, at least on that defense there. The Mercy able to jump in. The Kwong as well, finally been able to do his job and allow Maguli to free fire. Soul Reaper came over the top of the black hole, was doing a lot of damage, but he's stasis there. He's just stuck up in the air, and he was popping knock-knock after knock-knock, took it down in 3 shots. That's not gotta feel good. They're going right for the objective here now.
Right for the objective. This is the big one. It's going to be tough not having it on Simba with how much work he's doing in that. But this is now the 3rd Fangtooth for Primal. You got the buff. You're taking less damage, doing more of it. This is what they needed.
And we're seeing a Mesmer here on the side of Maguli, a big defensive item because he doesn't want to get those hooks, and now he has the Nightfall as well. He's almost fully kitted. He's been holding on that chalice since basically like minute 2. It's got full stacks. Let's see if he decides to sell it, change it into something else. However, they do take that Primal Fang, which is amazing, but then what do they do from here? Prime is not up. They might not feel too strong about pushing into the opposite side.
Come on, this is Flowstate.
That's true. They're full sending it.
We're fighting.
They're fighting. Yeah, they're like, all right, let's pick a fight. Let's find it somewhere. That's true. But can they win consecutive fights back to back to back? That's the question.
That is the big question. Now, it's important to note that last one was down a member, right? On the other hand, that also means Professor actually did expend an ultimate, killing Mercy, so there were less tools available for the follow-up fight afterwards. Flowstate has to find a way to bait those out and make sure they can follow up on it. Maguli, importantly, cannot get this Mesmer spell shield broken, because if Crazy Fool is able to land that Riplash onto you, if he's able to pull this Wraith in, it's lights out for Flowstate.
Absolutely, and so that's just another thing for them to kind of navigate within these fights. The good thing, though, for the side of Crazy Fool is his Electrocute procs that, so he can lose that shield. We were talking about how that kind of ability functions last night, so if he can get that proc or use the Rad Rounds to boom it away, then he's free game. Like, you know, ducks in the sky, fish in the barrel, whatever it is, but he still has to connect the hook.
In the sky, easy targets?
Not for me, but maybe for other people.
Like in the waters when they're easier.
Oh, it could be. Hopefully no team is caught out in the water just yet.
Well, there's no water on the map.
All right, you're cooking me now here, Spooky Mars. It's still very close between these squads. Only 2 kills separate them.
I guess there is water on the map. There's a whole river there. You could have pointed that out to me. You're going to see a Tier 2 siege. Here's Flowstate looking to take control of this game. They need the momentum. There's still 2 kills up for Professors right now. You can see neither team really super willing to take this full step forward. The clear from Professors is just keeping Flowstate at bay right now. Without Or Prime, this is a tough siege.
And we're seeing Simba kind of split pushing here on the other side of the map, but he's kind of a big member of their team fight capability, but they know they need to get this map pressure back into their favor. Taking that tier 1 or tier 2 in the offlane will do just that. Now, are they going to rotate, kind of shift everybody to go to the dual lane, take that tower? Will they back off here for the Or Prime?
I really want to see this Or Prime.
Yeah,
They've lost every single Prime so far, minis and big ones. They have to go for it. If they lose this, it's just so much momentum for the Professors. I think this next fight is where we really see what happens to this game. Do Flowstate win, or do the Professors take it all?
I think you've set the stage well. This is final fight territory. Those death timers are extremely long at 30 minutes into the match. If one team wins this clean, they can run it all the way home, right? You pick, at least you set yourself.
Words.
Yeah, exactly right. They set themselves up with 2 lanes here for both sides to pick, basically. But the wave state is what I'm looking at this as this engagement pops off. All the ultimates, though, are online. Proficiency. He's getting popped.
That's disgusting damage coming out from Maguli.
Yep.
Does he'll have to use the blink, but Creed is right here.
He's on him.
They're looking to
Maguli,
catch him
no.
now. Simba comes in over the top, though. A big shutdown. All professors are collapsing on top of Flowstate, but they've only found the one. Survivor's trying to put the damage out, but BKB is right there on top of him. Good gag grenade to get him the distance, but BKB cleans him up.
Finds him.
Survivor cannot survive.
Oh, yoink.
And now Flowstate looking to surge on forward. Crazy Fool punishes the aggression, puts BKB right back on that grayscale, and just like that, Philly, we've slowed things down. 3 members on Flowstate alive, 4 for Professors. The Orb Prime looking tough.
Ooh, I don't know. And it's about the all the ultimates that were expended in that fight. Okay, we are seeing the Absolution being completed as the final item for Maguli. But Proficiency, or Resolution, sorry, does his job. He gets on top of Maguli, makes him hurt, and then he's caught in an awkward spot. Everyone has to save him because he's the carry. He's the damage dealer. It is the Professors now going for the Prime. If they secure this, they can definitely take some structures.
Mercy and Peak are in the area, but the members are too strong for Professors. They got too many bodies. And look at Simba. He's all the way on that left side, taking a reset. They said, no, we're not trying to contest this one. Rein it in. We had a good defense at our base. Let's run it back, do it again.
But also, Fangtooth, that's about to come up. Do you let the other team get the double bubble buff, or do you try to head to Fangtooth first and set up the way you want to set up, especially having Mercy on your team with that glacial charge? So I think that might be the call for them, but still, BKB, he's going to be late to the party.
The big question is, can you burn it fast enough to make sure that the Professors don't take this Orb Prime and just run your inhibitors down? You've got to burn this quickly, because if you take too much time, you might lose something on your lanes, and if you lose your lanes, your core is exposed, and that's not where you want to be here.
Yeah, very difficult. So if you can get a good pick, if you can get your positioning correct, you could win this fight outright. That's what we're going to be looking for. Once again, all the check marks available for these ultimates for this engagement. Right now, the teams are setting the wave, right? They want the creeps pushing into the opposition so that the other squad has to answer that or they'll get backdoor. Right now, how do these teams decide to engage? Creed looking for the backline.
Creed looking, trying to pop that spell shield to make sure it's a little bit more difficult for him. Simba's able to get some distance, stay okay for now. Flowstate right now is separated. Simba's consistently playing away from his team and trying to find these flanks in. Creed does get that spell shield popped. They're in the Fangtooth pit already.
And that's good. I mean, Creed just showing himself makes the other team back off. Simba, he's doing the portal out the back. It's huge.
You're by yourself, Simba. Can you find a way to survive? Survivor says no. BKB also by himself. This is a split fight. Goes on deep, but there's no way out for BKB. Peak tries to help out, but it's just a funnel. They go in one by one and feed Survivor what he wants.
Huge.
Maguli comes in from the back end, trying to pop some shots down. Finds two.
Maguli.
It's a 2 for 2. Somehow, Flowstate have a way to keep this fight keep on going. Mercy looking at Proficiency, but Creed is still coming back in.
Tanky.
Maguli is going deep, finds a third one. That's
Ion
a triple.
strike.
Super low, though. Just needs a little bit more damage. That's a quad. Can you
Turning
find one more?
it.
Just one more.
Maguli.
And you can finish this one up. But the root connects, and now he's got a way out.
No way.
Oh,
No way.
Beta.
That is insane. Are you kidding me? The first game of the day, and Maguli is going absolutely ham. It's a triple kill for him. My goodness, this Wraith is doing some damage. Doesn't matter how tanky the opposition is, but with 2 members, I think they might be able to actually finish this one out, friend.
They've got some long death timers here. Maguli's got damage, Mercy's got damage, and most importantly, they've got some minions here.
Yes.
This inhibitor, just look at the damage he's
my
putting down
God.
onto it. There's
It's
no
insane.
way. Flowstate want to move forward. They want to keep this one going.
Oh my gosh. The 4 protect 1, friend. It worked out for him. They're going to close this out.
4 protect 1. It was 2 go into 5, and then Maguli just pulls it out and says goodnight. Flowstate, take this setup, game number 1.
Oh my goodness. With that crazy engagement from the Professors going through the torn space out the back of the pit, I thought at Simba getting got on, I thought that was the end of the fight. I was like, oh, and then BKB just kind of fell over. I thought it was over, but Maguli stayed safe long enough, and it's the Nightfall I have to highlight because on takedown, you get a shield that allowed him to sustain throughout the fight and keep popping shots. My goodness, what a match.
I mean, he just kept firing. We saw so many multi-kills coming out from these ADCs today. And that's just game 1, Philly.
Oh,
that is the
we are in for a treat.
start of our day. But you know what? I think we've heard lot from us so far. There's some I think we would really like to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
That's the man of the game, Maguli himself. So let's toss it to an interview.
You were bound by the chains of duty. Until true love turned the whole world on its head. And all the while, you were watching clothes dry. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Do it, do it.
18 to 24-year-olds get 6 months of Prime for $0.
Okay, guys, welcome in. I am here fresh off of his win, Maguli.
Yes, sir.
Brother, welcome in. In that game, you had 2 quadras and a pentakill to seal it off. How are you feeling, man?
Oh, I am ecstatic.
Feeling good?
I'm be honest, ecstatic. Yeah, that Wraith, we never played Wraith with scrims, ever. But
somebody tripped over it first.
Okay.
They're behind me. Okay, I'm gonna step on this.
Okay. Well, just try get another person if you have to.
No, we got stuck right there, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna get unplugged.
What are we looking for in game number 2? Honestly, from Flowstate, from Professors, what changes there?
That's really difficult because I think both of the drafts were expertly done. I don't think there were too many weaknesses from either side. Teams were rotating, teams engaged well.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I think BKB, he had to be on the Kwong. They really focused him, so it's not really his fault. He played his best that he could. They just pressured him out of the game. But so that's like, can you put him on the Ure? Can you do something else? I don't know what these adjustments are going to be. It's probably just going to be those standard bans we saw in game 1, and then maybe something similar. Maybe somebody tried to outpick each other. Survivor might be like, oh, I can do that on Wraith as well. Give it to me. Then they might try something along that line.
Well,
but
I got to pick Drongo.
There you go, right? A gentleman's handshake for it. But I'd imagine the drafts will be about pretty similar moving into game 2. I think the interview is ready now. Do we get the thumbs up here?
Yeah, I think we got the thumbs up for that. So
All
let's send
right.
it over.
Let's send it. Woo!
All right, man, we are right back here with you, Maguli. Listen, man, I know you're a big fan of getting kills. You could have left the feed alone. That being said, brother, how are you feeling, man? Give me a little bit of that energy after such an impactful game 1.
I'm hyped.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm hyped. They let me play Wraith. That's all I'm gonna say. I smile. Big smile when they let me play Wraith.
If you do get this Wraith again, we do know that some teams have been known to ego check you from time to time. We'll let them have the Revenant. We'll let them have the TB, et cetera, et cetera. If you get your hands on the Wraith again, are you confident that this team of the Professors can't do anything to stop you?
100%.
Yes,
and
sir.
Even if they ban the Wraith out, I could do the same on Wraith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or Twin Ones.
Yes, sir.
I'm very confident. Hyped with my support.
Earlier on in one of our interviews with me and you talking, you said you believe that you are the best carry here at this event at the LAN. I mean, if we're talking about a point to prove it, it does feel like that may have been one. You have been absolutely prolific and competitive going into game 2. Are you guys thinking of changing anything, or are you going to keep playing your game?
We might change it up a little bit. We don't want to be redundant. We don't want to show our hands, straight up. But we might change it up a little bit.
Fantastic, man. Well, I'm going to let you get back to the team. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Maguli, the carry here for F8. We're going to send you to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us, whether you're online or on live over here with us. We're so glad to have you here. It's still Spooky and Philly to take you through what is promising to be an absolute banger of a set.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw blood from minute 1 to minute 3, and that was like all the same fight.
And the kills just kept rolling. These teams were button head like bulls. It didn't matter. You couldn't tear them apart. Like, they were just constantly going through these skirmishes. That final engagement over that Fangtooth, it could have gone any single way, but Maguli just outplaying the rest of the server and just winning it outright for his squad. So this is what we were kind of talking in between the break there. This could go all the way to set 3. These
really
players are insane right now. I'm really looking forward to this draft. And look, dude, they're taking off the Wraith.
Right there. I am not surprised to see that Wraith go. It was kind of a question we had. Are they going to let him have that? Do they do the ego thing? Because we've seen it time and time again where teams will face up against Flowstate. They'll see Maguli put on an absolute banger performance and say, he can't do that again. And they'll drop the zero like, you did it again.
Dude, the thing is, this kid is not bannable. Like, okay, you take out the Wraith. I think you actually waste the ban there because you can bring out the Revenant, he can bring out the Sparrow. In the PCC Summer Series, he was on the Revenant, absolutely destroying people. So I don't want to say it's a wasted ban because that also then changes up the strategy for Flowstate in terms of how they draft, etc. But their opener right now here is the same. They go for the Kwong Decker to start.
Yeah, I really want to look at this Countess over here because that's one that doesn't typically get through, right? We see that banned quite frequently. So first picking this Countess, most likely for that offlane is where we see her most frequently. Now picking that Kwong into the Countess where BKB had a really tough time last game. What do you think of that matchup now?
I mean, Kwong's been hit with the nerf hammer pretty significantly over the last couple of patches. Sometimes he can win, sometimes he can't. I would say Countess usually has the edge here. If we're doing like the Pokemon type chart, right? It's like who's got advantage, disadvantage. I think Countess has the edge. But then it's about how they play in these team fights. What are they looking to do on either side? So as the draft unfolds, we'll kind of divulge in terms of what each team wants to do. Spooky, you called it. Flowstate said, we can play the Drongo better than you.
And look at this. We're also getting professors doing the same thing you said. We can play the Aurora better than you. Take it away from Mercy. Rux also locked in here. And this one's been seeing a lot of flex potential, right? We've seen him in the off lane. We've seen him over in the support role. Hasn't been finding the success you've been wanting to see so far. Frankly, this looks like a Grux-Murdoch dual lane. That's a lot of damage that can come through.
And we've been seeing the Grux support a lot throughout this tournament, and Crazy Fool has a number of games on Grux support. It's not necessarily on the land, but in their scrims they've been doing in between sets, he's been playing it a lot,
That's a Terra locked in for Flowstate. Are we seeing maybe a Kwong jungle over here?
It could be.
Maybe a Terra jungle?
I think it'll be the Terra jungle. Mercy, that's in the kit, that's in his pool. I think that will probably be better. I think she facilitates more from the jungle. You can set up the ganks with the Highland Hurl, the Wild Rush, things of that nature. So I definitely like the Terra in the jungle. Provides a little bit more of that front line. I got to highlight the animations here. Tedium, our observer, created these animations, and the Drongo is one of his favorites. This is why I want to point it out, because he loves the little grenade
He's pretty
toss.
proud of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But the poke, we've been constantly talking about how poke is so important right now in the meta, and Countess can poke with the Eventide. The Gadget can poke with pretty much everything she's got. The Murdoch can poke. You get the passive, he can shoot you from range. You got the long arm of the law to set up across the map, so there's going to be a lot of those. The range of engagement is going to be very long here for the professors. They'll be able to start the fight before the other team can even think about getting it done.
It's kind of the opposite story of game number 1, right? Where professors had drafted really heavily for this full commit. We want to be in there. We want to fight you right in your face. Whereas Flowstate is saying, haha, I'm a Wraith. I'm all the way back here. Good luck, buddy. It switched things up a little bit here. Now I'm looking at Flowstate and wondering, well, where is their long-range engagement? Sure, you've got this Gideon here that can throw rocks at you, drop them from the sky. You've got the stasis bombs, toss them from downtown. But other than that, you're all in.
And that's exactly how Flowstate likes to play.
That's
They're
true.
like, screw the poke game. Like, we just want to run at you and then try to take you down. This also kind of brings to mind why the Wraith was banned out, because he actually uses a longer poke than the Gadget does. So you ban that out early to save your Gadget from that harassment. And then the final ban we didn't even get to hit on is the Yurei. We know BKB.
We don't like talking about Yurei.
We don't talk about Yurei. Okay, that was from our cast last night where we were singing on it. But the Yurei is a BKB special, and they only for bits. Chat, you put in bits, you put in subscribes. Hey, I'll sing every note of this cast if you want me to. BKB aside, I will. BKB aside, we're looking at the bottom bans. We didn't even get to touch on that. Rampage, one of the most highly banned characters in this one. And then our stats guy, D-Dog, ran the numbers this morning. Wukong catapulted himself there. He's in the top 5 of most banned, most picked.
Yeah, you know what? He deserves it. I'm tired of seeing this guy running around. He's so slippery. He does so much. Just take him out. So many teams have shown you can do a lot with this pick, and it's really hard to punish anything he does because of how slippery he is.
Right.
What's the best way to punish it? Throw him out. Don't let him play. And we've talked a lot about the drafts. We're going to have a little bit of time. We can talk about the players as well here. I want to start with the professors here. I do believe we actually have some headshots. We got a little media day on Friday to get everything sorted out here. You can see everyone there, and you all know Crazy Fool there.
I actually loved Media Day. I got to meet all the players. Yeah, we cast a lot of games and things like that, but just seeing them face-to-face, giving them a handshake, a high five, whatever it is, it was just awesome to be able to get and be a part of that moment. And our producer, Choice Plays, took these wonderful headshots, took huge team photos outside in different areas. We had players sign things. It was a great time. The big thing, I'm looking at Soul Reaper. The cat's out of the bag here for you, friend. I guess you have to stream with your face on now from here on out.
You know, that's what happens when you have some of the most accolades on your team. Some of the most accolades in predecessor history right now, actually. Your face is out there, my friend. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. Frankly, I'm really excited to see what everyone has to bring here. Creed especially being his first, big event here.
Absolutely.
First time on land for everyone. First time getting Creed's name and face out there. And so far, after that first game, he's been doing a phenomenal job.
He did a really good job getting in the back line on that Fang Mao, causing that harassment, getting on top of Maguli, which we saw was the most pivotal player in that game there. And I want to talk about proficiency. He's got a championship, PCC 5 under his belt. Yep, he's been playing through a number of teams, worked through Nightshade a little bit as well. So, yeah, definitely a very talented player in that offlane. But Creed, like we talked about in game number 1, that X factor, I want to see what they put him on here to really help facilitate the rest of the squad. As we move on from this, we're going to take a look at Flowstate, our reigning PCC Summer champions.
And frankly, I mean, you know so many of these names. Mercy is a big one in the scene, has been around for a long time, prolific streamer, very vocal in the scene is how I would phrase that. And obviously, Magoo has been making a name for himself as well.
When you play hard, you need your eyes to keep up. Try Blink. The only eye drop of its kind with a unique 3-in-1 extended relief formula to get your eyes back in the game.
Summer's here, and it's time to bring the heat in a new Honda. Head out for an unforgettable adventure, or take a sporty sedan for a spin, all while driving with confidence. See what makes Honda the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a $289 per month lease on a 2025 Civic Sports Sedan.
BKB has been here for a long time as well. In fact, most of these players have been through history time and time again, maybe not always finding the results they want, but certainly in the scene.
Absolutely. And like we talked about during that media day, getting to meet the players, doing team interviews, Ego was able to sit down with each team as a whole, ask them questions about how they feel about the land, what things they wanted to go and do moving forward. Simba, love talking to this guy, man. Such a jokester, such a cool guy. Loves to go to the gym. He's like, I'm doing back day. I'm like, well, you need to carry the team, so maybe slow down on that. And he facilitated quite well there on the Rena, really starting some of those fights, making those rotations here. So it's always a joy to see each one of these players. And as a reminder, folks, Peak, he is the one that's going to be shot calling more often than not throughout the game. So that's a face you want to know.
That one is a big one. He's setting a lot of the direction for the team. You know, a lot of the comms are Mercy as well, right?
Yeah.
Mercy saying, I want to go in. I want to go in. I'm going to do this. Let's go fight. It's just as important to have someone who can say, hold on, not just yet, or just be willing to make that time and say, you know what, let's get in there, we can do it, and Peak really brings a lot of that.
Absolutely. And like we were talking about, BKB, also kind of the devil's advocate, being like, are we sure about this? Should we do that? Kind of checking Mercy, and you need that too. But if that crosses your communications too much and then you can't get anything done, that's not good. So you do need that balance there. And then, but Peak brings everybody back together. He's like, that's a good point, but this is what we need to do, and they respect that, right? If he says turn off objective, you turn off the objective when Peak calls it.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of what Mercy's teams have been missing in the past, because we've seen Mercy on team after team after team, and it's kind of the same thing every time where he's going in and maybe the team's not on that same page. Flowstate is a very aptly named team because this is a team that comes together and says, all right, we're on the same page, let's do it, and they're getting things done. They're up one game, they're champions from the summer series. Things are looking good for them. Professors are a tough nut to crack.
Absolutely, and that's a big point. You can be a very talented player, but if your style doesn't fit, then you're not going to be good on that team. It's just like any other sport out there. You have to mesh with your teammates. You have to be a mind meld. All 5 members need to be in sync to get the things done. Finally, my friend, we're heading into game number 2.
You said in sync. Let's get in game here. Everything going to kick on off. Professors now under a lot of pressure. Remember, this is an elimination match. If they lose this game, they are out of the LAN. They have to bring it back. They have to dig deep and say, this is not where we quit.
I almost forgot it was game 2. I've been having so much fun here that I forgot it was an elimination match. We're seeing the augments coming across the board once again. Pacifist here giving us these images. I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary here. Once again, going to be a lot of poke coming out here from the dual lane for Flowstate.
Yeah, once again, looking for just throwing everything down range, getting what they can off, and I like that, right? We were thinking, where's the poke damage going to come from Flowstate? Are they going to be able to match that range? Taking the augment says, yes, we can. Alrighty, we're going to see another little fight here. BKB and Proficiency meet up. Not going to be an extended fight this time around. We're going to say, you know what, we learned our lesson. Still, abilities thrown, abilities missed. Taking a walk away.
So the game plan for me, at least from the start, hasn't changed here for the Professors. They're going to be looking to keep BKB under wraps. They just don't want this guy to click his buttons on his keyboard. And early on, the Countess will win that because there's no items, there's no durability, there's nothing. It's just sustain and poke, and she has that in spades.
Yeah, has it in spades, built right into the kit, super easy to get off there. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Mercy maybe make some earlier rotations over. We've already seen we like to gank this off lane. If Mercy can come over and try to facilitate BKB a little bit more, Proficiency on the Countess is a slippery target, but it's also a squishy target early on. If you can find some damage, you might be able to do something here.
Yeah, and Terra, I mean, these guys are the best in the world, right? But for me, when I played Jungle Terra with you that one time, and I was terrible. But if you can hit the Highland Hurls and the Wild Rushes, I mean, you can really lock somebody down and secure those kills, which is important at this level. One kill can open up an objective, which gives you an advantage that you can roll on to something else. I want to take a look at this mid lane right now.
Do it.
Soul Reaper. Thank you, Pacifist. Soul Reaper, he can play anything. We've seen it on stream, but doesn't always play the gadget, prefers the Gideon and some other characters. So I'm curious to see how he's going to do on the main stage. And speaking of the main stage, my friend, this is the first time either of those teams have been in the hot seats.
That is true. This is a high tension situation for them. A lot of pressure, but they've so far been showing they can perform under the pressure that they are under. I think I want to talk about, we talked about poke as well. This dual lane we haven't touched on too much. There's actually a lot of poke that can come through during this laning phase because Crazy Fool is on this Crux, on this melee character, and we've already seen him kind of getting pushed down, taking a lot of damage. Very careful how he approaches. Creed gonna go ahead and make this rotation, and looking at Maguli, he's been a big target, but it's Maguli who finds the first blood kill right before he goes down.
My goodness, and that's what happens because as Grux, you want to stay in lane, but you've been poked out, so you're really low. It's an easy gank as long as the wave is with you, and that was a great rotation there to secure the Rhino and find some eliminations.
Yeah, very critical. I like to see both these teams getting active early on. Speaking of active, Mercy comes in, looking at Soul Reaper, doesn't have the root. No, he does have a root, and that comes from Simba. Finds a rock, and that is one more for Flowstate.
Nice rotation there from the jungle. Peak now under a little bit of duress. I don't think they'll be able to catch him. He gets away.
Yeah, but Maguli has come in and said, hey, Creed, you better find yourself a way out of this one. Throws the gas grenade, blink for blink comes through. Oh, the rad rounds! Maguli is on fire!
Oh, and that is not a man you want ahead in this one if you're a Professors fan. He does expend the blink, though, and he doesn't have the shrapnel cannon online, so he is a little bit vulnerable should they come gank again. Another engagement here in the off lane.
I like this from BKB. You kind of got to sit back and just get wailed on in game number 1. Game number 2, he's not in the mood for that. He's going to take the fight proficiency. He's going to walk for it. He's going to remind you, there's a reason I am here at this land. There's a reason I'm on this stage with you, and it's not because I'm worse.
And he wants to prove to everybody he's just as good. Right now, though, they're kind of running out of mana there in the off lane, so I would expect they're going to shove in this lane, and then he's going to make a rotation back. I'm looking for some of those rotations for the jungler here as we set up for the first Fang.
Getting ready for it. Just a few, about 20-ish seconds out before this one comes up. You can see Flowstate trying to get that pressure up. They're pushing these waves in. If they can find some setbacks, send this Grux back to base, get him out of here. You can find yourself a good avenue forward. Keep your eyes on Mercy here. He's deep in the enemy jungle, finding some invade. And what that does for you means you can figure out where the enemy is coming from and if they're here already.
Oh, and they take
and they are not.
And they took the flower, too, which is a great way for the Professors to kind of jump in and get the surprise. Now they have to wrap all the way around, which they can see coming. You can see Creed trying to get into the fight here. He gets found out.
Yeah, BKB standing right there to make sure you don't have an easy way in. If you want to get in here, you got a Glacial Charge over that wall, and Creed doesn't look like he wants to do it. Gonna take a step back. BKB still on top of Soul Reaper. Might be able to find something, but the Torn Space should get him out.
And there it is, Creed, using that Glacial Charge more for an escape tool, the Hoarfrost there as well to root some folks. But the reason why that was able to happen is that they recognized that Creed was on the opposite side of the map. So Mercy was able to go with the invade. They knew they could take the Blast Cone in and then take that objective for free. So we love that. And I don't see any trades coming out from the Professor because of that objective take.
Yeah, what I really like is seeing BKB get out of this off lane, right? That wasn't something he was able to do a lot of in game number 1. And it's kind of the whole idea for Flowstate. They want to get together and they want to just take fights, take objectives, and get stuff done. Seeing him get more active here very early on, I think, is very crucial for Flowstate. It's now the Professors to find a way to stop that, slow it down, and make sure you're still punishing those rotations. You saw Countess take that first plating on the tower. Not quite enough.
Yeah, definitely want a little bit more there, but that'll be the first blood in terms of plates. There's still about, 5.5 minutes before they go away. But as we were taking a look at the items there, I noticed something interesting, and that was Creed getting the Brimstone, which means they're going to build into Fire Blossom. The reason they're doing that is because they went with the Glacial Charge Augment, which is going to decelerate his clear. Because normally you go with the other augment that facilitates your passive. So in order to help his clear, he goes for the Fire Blossom and get that extra tick damage. And then he's also kind of frontlining in these fights from time to time. So getting a little extra durability, a little extra damage is going to be helpful for him in the long run.
And going to be very easy for him to get into these fights. So now you've got some good poke for the rest of your team. You've got some good ways to get into the fight. And your tank is also bringing that extra damage in. Yeah. Professors, they've got a clear plan here, but it takes time to get online. Crazy Fool gonna look for peek, but Mercy is right here to join him. Containment Fence forces out the blink. Yikes. That's gonna send Crazy Fool right back to the tower. Now a little bit more vulnerable in that dual lane, so maybe more rotations come through.
Some of those diehard fans will know. Ban the Decker. Something I always used to say, and especially against the Rhino. I mean, you can keep him in the cage, put him in the zoo, whatever you like to say. Right now, Proficiency wants to take the 1v1, and he forces out the blink.
BKB, arm of the law cuts through. BKB can run, but BKB cannot hide. Survivor gets himself on the board there.
Oh, and that is huge. He needs to get some of that gold in his pocket to keep up with Maguli.
These eyes.
These eyes?
These eyes make a statement.
They take it all in.
These eyes I got from my mom, which I got from my mom, which I got from my mom.
They helped me bake this.
Nail this?
These eyes are important to me.
Because they're the only ones I've got.
That's why I take them here, to America's Best.
With a team of doctors and associates who believe every
eye deserves better.
Especially these ones.
America's Best. Every eye deserves better.
Break Brothers.
Hey, Thomas, I told him to use 11 as the standard email font, but he insisted on using...
Your boy's on a crispy, creamy Kit Kat break.
But the...
Your boy's on a break. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Okay, your home, auto, and business vehicle are all protected with Progressive. Nice. It gets a bit overwhelming running a business and a family. Ooh, it sounds like someone could use a vacation. A what? A vacation. Like taking a break from the stresses of life and work. Oh, like when I'm logging everyone's hours so I get to sit for a while. No. Oh, like when I'm making a delivery in my van and a song comes on that I like. No. So like when I take my work van to the car wash and it's all quiet in that tunnel for like 5 minutes? No, it's like when you go away and you take pictures and, I don't know, I've never been on one either.
Break Brothers.
Hey, bud. It's your time.
Your son is on a crispy, creamy Kit Kat break.
Who's gonna do the chores?
Thanks, Break Brothers. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Especially after getting a few of those kills early on in the duo lane. That was a shot, because there was no setup there. There was nothing to keep him now. Crazy Fool's going in.
What a glacial charge. You can't get under the tower now.
Yikes,
Flowstate cut off, and Crazy Fool cuts him down. Maguli out, and now Mercy is in this one, looking to try to bring it back. Crazy Fool gets dropped, and Soul Reaper back to the tower. No more fights here. Creed wants out.
And you'll take that every day of the week. You trade your support for the enemy carry. Absolutely worth it every day of the week. And that was a great setup there from the side of the Professors, giving us a little bit of a glimpse of how they want to take these fights. Glacial charge people off, put the Tesla Dome on top, and there's no escape.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can use that glacial charge, right? You can use it just get into the fight, or you can say, you're not going over here anymore. Split everything up, make sure there's no escape route, and Creed's doing that beautifully. It is going to be a mini prime taken by Mercy here. Not going over to BKB this time around, and frankly, I don't dislike that decision. BKB's been under a lot of pressure. It's hard for him to utilize it, so put it on someone who's been active on the map and can really bring these lanes some extra help.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Mercy's been in every single lane so far.
Yeah.
Once again, another smash and grab brings in Maguli. He's able to hop, skip, and jump out of that one.
And Maguli's decided the mid lane is a new place he would like to be in. Crazy Fool decides to follow him over. Gotta be careful here, though, because there's a lot of traffic, and that traffic is Creed, and Creed brings a lot of pain. Glacial Charge comes through, making sure Maguli has to take the long way out, and that way out is right to the death screen.
Yikes, yeah, they found him in the river there, going for the bugs at the 9-minute mark, and that was maybe a little bit greedy for him. The fight continues.
Still looking for Crazy Fool. Smash and grab pulls Mercy in, and Mercy said, all right, bet, we'll take that. Here's an axe for your face, another grave for your team. Now looking back into this mid lane, may have an opportunity to try pushing this tower down, but Survivor, for his part, is just sitting over here farming for his life.
I mean, carries do what carry does, and they have an agricultural degree, and they're just getting the creeps as they can. And that's off the back of Crazy Fool. He's just like, okay, I'm going to leave you here. You do your thing. I'm going to go cause havoc. Whether he's dying 3 times or not, he's creating the space to get Survivor where he needs to be.
Absolutely. And Survivor, for his part, is feeling absolutely fine with how this is going. If he has space to farm, get tower platings, he's just going to grease it, get some damage. And it doesn't matter how many times Crazy Fool dies, because he's going to bring that pain back tenfold, and he's going to do it from range. Crazy Fool feeling okay right now. Still getting some items online, but once he gets a little bit more durability, it's going to take Flowstate a lot longer to bring him down. There's going to be a lot more setup.
Absolutely. And so, speaking of setup, we're looking to set up for the second Fang of this match. And this is when Survivor's going to be looking to fight, right? He's got the Vanquisher online. He's going to maybe, I don't think he has time for a back here. It depends. Mercy is looking for him, though.
Take it.
Going for the invade once again. He is going to take the back. Maybe not the right call. It depends on how Flowstate, if they recognize that, and they would go and start the Fang first.
Oh, Mercy's in the area. Peek right there alongside him. They're going to go ahead and start this one up. Mercy swinging. See the rest of Flowstate coming on over, but Professors are also on their way. Creed going to go ahead and section off this pit. Make sure Mercy's by himself. The Crazy Fool is also by himself. Has to blink away. Containment Fence does a lot of work. So the damage comes through. The long arm cuts through the entirety of the fight. And Maguli is immediately out of it. BKB super low and has to retreat up the stairs. Keep your eyes on Proficiency. He finds himself a double kill. Might be hunting for a little bit more, but BKB took the safe route out.
And that's exactly what the Countess wants to do. She wants there to be a scramble, and she wants to find the people who have separated from the flock and assassinate them. The best thing from the Murdoch is that you can participate in the fight all the way from base, and you saw Survivor getting a kill here, and he might get a second. BKB in trouble.
Why did you come back, my friend? Look at your health bar. You don't have to make the hero play. Now Flowstate doesn't have a lot of ways into this, but Mercy is walking in. I don't like that call. Instead has to dash away from the smash grab. Going to be a Fangtooth. First one for Flowstate. Get that tick marker started early.
Friend, game one was even. Game 2, even as well. I mean, absolute cinema here from both of these teams, and we expect nothing less. I was looking there on Creed to see what he was building next. He is going to go for the Tainted Guard here. He does have the Horn Plate, so just more of that durability, more of that tick damage as he's bleeding people out. The Chieftain's Blink from the side of Crazy Fool has facilitated his team tenfold because he's able to jump in there in that engagement. He jumped in there, smacked the clubs together, and then he jumped out, right? And he was able to survive and then come back in with a nice smash and grab. So Crazy Fool just all over the place in these fights.
And it's such a disgusting initiation. It's so quick. As soon as you're on top of him, you just click. Sorry, you don't get to play anymore. Also, you're dead because my team is right here for you. Now, Fangtooth down, Mini Prime down for the count as well. These teams have a little bit of time. Will they use that to fight or to farm? I mean, well, you can still get the screen and find out for yourself. Crazy Fool under duress. Containment fence comes up. He's got some backup from Reaper here. Tries to find a way out, and the route is good onto Peak to make sure there's no more CC coming through. Creed is in the area. Could find a way to cut him off, but not looking for more of a fight. Instead, they want to focus on these towers.
I think that's what you need to do. I mean, the plates have just gone down, so now they're a little bit. The shrapnel cannon doing work. The Blink expended here. Survivor, can he get out?
Survivor should be okay. Not enough damage on the rad rounds to bring him down for now, but Creed has walked into 2, finds himself. Oh no, you walked right into a wall. Now has to find a different route out of the danger zone. He's making his way over to Proficiency, but BKB is on the chase, finds the tether, and finds the damage. That's all they need. Turn their eyes over to Proficiency. Mercy is looking, but not going to look for too much too hard here. Instead, Maguli gets dropped on the left side as Reaper makes that rotation.
And that's a great rotation. If you know the other team is sending a lot of members to the opposite side of the map, how does Proficiency keep getting away with murder?
He looks too hard.
That is the power of the Countess, which is why she's banned out time and time again. She could just take these 1v1s and win them every single time.
Yeah.
So that was a great kill from Proficiency. Maguli did win the 1v1 eventually against Survivor, so that was great. But like we were talking about, you recognize where those rotations are coming, how do we counter-rotate, and then now having your mid laner here in the duo, he's able to push the tower.
That's going to be more gold for Professors. They're doing a good job of slowly building themselves up a lead. Yeah. Not to the point that this game is unwinnable by any stretch of the means, but it's getting to the point where Flowstate has to start finding a couple more answers, maybe rein themselves in a little bit. Some of these fights have not been necessary, and they're taking maybe too many risks and not paying off for them. Mini Prime is up. Mercy is back on the board. Should be able to make his way over, but the Professors who are in a position to get there first.
The necessary fight, and the BKB has to answer the wave there, so they're going to be down a member. Depends if they're going to try to engage this. Mercy is going to peek for the numbers. Creed blocking Simba off. That's a great wall there, but still the numbers are ticking downward. Can they secure it?
They're looking for a way in, but Mini Prime is going to go the way of Professor. They
Smash.
turn away from it. Tesla Dome opens, and the Lorgar right down the center is going to burn these health bars away.
Beautiful.
Soul Reaper picks them up, and they're just looking for a cleanup now. BKB makes the rotation in, but he's one man against 4. He does take down Proficiency, but that's about all he can do here. Maguli is on the rotation. Simba's still alive, but low. Going to signal the end of this.
Oh my gosh, what a fantastic engage there from Crazy Fool. I wanted to highlight this before the match, but he has Rift Walkers.
He does.
He got the Rifties. So he rifted in there,
moving,
smashed the clubs, and the Tesla Dome right on top just zapped him to oblivion there. And then Simba, there was nothing he could do. He was sectioned off from the fight.
Yeah.
So a great tactic there for Professors to secure that Mini Prime. They're taking this tower after that.
See, these are the uses of Glacial Charge that are just so annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Sure, you can just use it to run at someone and close the distance, but the way they can just break up the fight to say, hey, buddy, did you want to fight with your team? Haha, you're useless. There's just so little you can do about it because the only thing you can do is torn space over. And are you going to do that? Are you going to use your escape to get over a single wall and run at the enemy?
Probably not, friend.
Probably not.
So that's a great recognition there from Creed, doing the Mercy special, basically, to section it off. Now the teams are going to be engaging again here for the next Fangtooth. That'll be the third one of the match, the second for either squad. Not a lot of ultimates. The Tesla Dome is what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
Not available for the Professors. Everything on the board here for Flowstate.
Notably, Mercy does not have ultimate available. Not able to run through CC right now, but frankly, it has been CC he's been needing to run through. It's that wall has been so problematic. If they can just find a way to bait that out and start the fight afterwards, they're in a better spot. But the question is, how do you even begin to do that?
That's a really good question. You have to be able to split the fight somehow, and that's going to be on Simba. Simba's going to go in with the black hole, and when people panic sometimes when the black hole comes through, so they're like,
that's me.
Which was same, brother. When my health bar gets low, I panic. So, What do I do? What do I do? I'm retreating, but maybe I should stay. I don't know. I'm dead. Point of the story is this person might be dead as well. Caught again.
Big smash and grab, and Proficiency comes in to clean it on up. Oh my god, another Glacial Charge. Means there's no way to regroup. Peak trying to come in from the back end. Health bar's low. Maguli's already out of this one. It seems he was not able to find success on this stronger they're looking for. Mercy does find Creed, though. That could be a big pick, but it gets rooted down and not able to find anything.
Whoa.
Not enough damage on the long arm. Mercy barely scrapes by, but Reaper says, no problem. I've got an ultimate, too.
Yeah, that's a great Tesla Dome, and he kind of just leaves himself out there knowing he's the support. Got to be the cannon fodder to allow the rest of the team to get out. BKB finally goes down. There must have been some tick damage we weren't aware of, because I thought the Vanquisher was going to proc on him to eliminate him, but doesn't even matter. Professors, they win that fight clean. They're going for the Fang.
This will be the second one to their name. Next one's going to be a Primal Fang Tooth when it comes up, but Simba, I don't know if you want to be up there. Yeah, he turns around, recognizes there's maybe a little...
Jolly Rancher. Made with huge fruit flavor.
It starts with Celsius. Fuel I can feel good about. I'm gonna need it. Buys, tries, shoulders, a static hold, the good burn. School pickup, then meal prep. Besitos for the littles. To the station. Recharge. Then the 3-alarm comes in. Calls like these are why we stay ready.
So this is exactly what your mouth had in mind. That hazelnutty, crispy, chocolatey, creamy. Irresistibly one of a kind. Irresistibly bueno.
Choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5 box, $7 box, and $9 box. Now featuring the cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes only at Taco Bell.
We're here. Progressive's accident response detected an accident and sent for help.
Did we beat him? Where's Superman?
Saving the world, maybe?
So we did beat him.
Yeah, I don't think car insurance is really his thing.
Not with us around.
Yeah, I already called a tow truck and started your claim.
I guess not all heroes wear capes.
Yep, some wear tummy capes.
Ew, what? Don't say things like that out loud.
No.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
A little too much heat in that kitchen, I'll take a step back out. There's still Tier 1 towers to be looked at. There's still standing gold on the map that Flowstate can use to bring themselves back into this. They are not far behind, but they are behind, and Professors are looking to leverage that.
Absolutely. I always think about Predecessor sort of like a process flow chart, right? We do this, then that allows us to go into this, then we can go into that. And right now, the Professors are going through the process flow chart, and they're the ones in the driver's seat. How can Flowstate disrupt their path right now? That is going to be the question. Is it finding a pick through the jungle, right? Mercy, we haven't really called his name too much on this Terra. Hasn't really been able to find those engagements and take those 1v1s that his team wants to do.
You know, I'll be straight up honest with you. I'm not a big believer in the Terra jungle myself.
Okay.
It just feels like it's struggling so hard to get into these fights. And the fact that this Aurora is there, I keep saying Glacial Charge, and believe me, I hate saying those two words together.
Sure.
And the fact that I have to keep saying them is why I hate them so much. It's so good at just stopping what Flowstate wants to do on this Terra. Mercy's not able to get these active fights going, and BKB is once again being looked at and does get pulled back in. Mercy has to come back and help him out, make this a 3v2. Runs in, trying to force out some of the damage, but the Tesla Dome opens, says we're going to break this fight up. Creed again stops him with the Glacial Charge. Has to blink out. Maguli's here, but BKB goes down from Proficiency, who can now make the wraparound, looking for Mercy. Takes him down as well. It's a double kill. Come back to the fight. Peak is by himself in the middle of 3. The Warp Gate does not connect, but here comes Creed right on top, and the Hoarfrost is there to lock him down. Can you find yourself a triple kill? No, Reaper's gonna make that one his. Maguli, what are you doing? Get back out of here. You want to go to base? Let me give you some help.
Oh my God, spooky. Disaster from Flowstate. They just filed in like lemmings, one by one, and that's as easy for the Professors, one of the most veteran squads in the Predecessor scene. They were like, thank you very much, dead, just like tick marks there.
Yeah, it's a checklist.
It's absolutely, and then Survivor has been split pushing this entire time off of that. So, I mean, that's just a clean fight win for them, and Survivor is just on a tear.
All right, now Survivor is feeling very good. He hasn't been active in a lot of the fights. It's been, here's an ultimate. All right, I'm on my way now, guys. I'm the follow-up damage. But the thing is, you don't need him to be there for everything. He's taking down the towers after the fight. He's staying safe. He's still putting out the damage. And Flowstate doesn't have a way to dive him because he's not there.
And that's the best thing about the Murdoch is he can participate in those fights from all across the map. Something I've noticed about the Professors, anytime they want to engage, it's when the Tesla Dome is ready. Because it just does so much damage. It splits the fight better than the black hole does. And you can also put the black hole, or the Tesla Dome right on top of the black hole. So it's also a counter engage tool, counter dive tool. But it is crazy full on this Grux support. It's just been doing wild things out here. The Rift Walkers, the blinks into the Warlords challenge to stun people up. This guy has been the keystone member facilitating the squad.
Honestly, he's just been facilitating so much right now. Between the smash and grab pulling people in and then the escape path being cut off, there's so little that Flowstate can do. It's just space control from Professors. You step up one step too far and it's lights out for you. Flowstate now has to dig in deep. There's a Fang Tooth coming up. It's primal, but there's also an Orb Prime on the map. Now you have to decide, what do you want to play for more? Which do you defend? What do you try to go for?
And right now, Flowstate, they have the positioning around the Prime. You can see there's 4 members there, but 2 of them have split off here. They're maybe like, maybe we just give it to him, we find something else across the map. Maybe we delayed enough for the Fang to spawn, and then we rotate over there. But Peak can't get caught out here. He's got a jet boot over the wall.
He can't be caught out. Honestly, there's a lot of people that can't be caught out. Maguli has to watch his position here. He's been caught in quite a few fights here, back to back. And you gotta be playing a little bit safer to make sure you don't get taken out early. Frankly, it's hard to do. There's a Countess here. She's going to flank. She's going to find a way into your back line. It's up to Flowstate to be on guard for that. Maybe they need to be less aggressive. Maybe it's Mercy and BKB who have to kind of take that step back and be on the lookout for this Countess to try to catch her as she goes in.
That's exactly what I was about to say, my friend. It's counterintuitive here for Mercy and BKB because they love to just dive in. But somebody needs to play on the flank and make sure the assassin can't get to your back line, right? BKB is usually very good at that when he plays an assassin, like Uri. Uri versus Countess, he will always be fighting on the flank for his side to make sure that they don't get backdoored in these team fights. But when he's playing the Kwang, he has a different role on the team. He wants to try to initiate with the tether, get the Fury of the Heavens, do some damage there. But I think somebody's got to counter this Countess, right? And I think it's got to be the Terror. Just keep her on the outskirts. Let the Kwang do the initiation. We'll see what happens when they fight again. Right now, there's a handshake, though. Nobody's going after objective just yet.
Yeah, right now it feels like Professors are kind of prodding and seeing what Flowstate wants to do. We're going to step up. We're going to push this lane over here. Are you going to react to it? No? You're going to sit in your tower? All right. Well, that's fine, I guess. Let's go over here. Are you going to group up around the Orb Prime? No? Well, okay, I guess we'll take a step back here. It's just waiting for Flowstate to take that one step where they can't be like that. Peak gets pulled out of a fog wall, but he does have some help. He comes down, drops the Hoarfrost, but the support comes in from Professors and just rip them apart. Now Simba going to be looking to get under this tower. It's actually a double kill for Survivor. 2 drop down. That's going to be an easy Orb Prime going the way of Professors. They have an opportunity. Flowstate could go for this primal.
They have to be quick about it. Flowstate, they have to make that decision now and saying, we're going to go for it. But Maguli has to be there. He's the bulk of the damage to burn this thing down. Simba's going to kind of cover the retreat here. But once again, Crazy Fool, the smash and grab into the Rifties, into the Warlord challenge with the Tesla Dome on top. No can defend, friend. And they're able to get the Prime off of this. It looks like Flowstate, they're not going to risk it. They're not going to go for the Fang. They're going to wait for their members and then try to jockey for position around this next objective. That is when they need to win the fight, because if not, the game might be over.
10 kills down. Flowstate in a very tough position right now. They got to dig deep and find some way to get back into it. And frankly, it feels like keeping track of Crazy Fool and where's that on the map is the best way to do that. You mentioned how much work he's doing. Rift Walkers, smash and grab. Here's the Warlords challenge. If you know where he is, you can position a lot more effectively. But take a look at the map itself. There's a lot of vision down, but it's from Professors. Flowstate, for their part, putting some very defensive wards in this river up on their side, but it's not getting that vision of where Crazy's coming from.
And it's on Peak. Peak has to stop Crazy Fool from doing these things. He's got to put him in the cage, stasis bomb him. But he's not been able to be comfortable in these fights because the Countess has been heckling him. He's been poked out from the gadget. So it's been really difficult for him to keep the other support at bay. And then Crazy Fool just kind of has free reign to do whatever he wants. I also got to highlight the Dynamo item on the Crazy Fool, which is going to accelerate that stun damage even more.
Big fan.
So big fan of that item as well. The teams, they are jockeying, but a huge pick there in the off lane. That's big for Proficiency. He's backdooring this.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take this inhibitor down nice and easy. Or Prime Minion's going to push things up, and you see the resets come in. Mercy and Peak have to defend, but it leaves this Primal completely exposed for the Professor's take. Proficiency's not even going to try to take this fight. He says, I got what I want. I killed BKB. I got an inhib. My team gets the objective. You guys are cooked.
Yeah, that is, put some salt and pepper on them, friend, because, with the third Fang Tooth going their way, they're getting those buffs to offense and defense, and they get the inhib, which means there's going to be constant pressure here for Flowstate. How do they stem the bleeding, which then will allow them to rotate to more objectives across the map? This is going to be really tough. The Tesla Dome is available here for Soul Reaper. That's been their main follow-up tool after the engages here. The smash and grab barely whiffs.
It's a whiff, though, and that is integral for Flowstate to stay in this match. Group up around this inhibitor. This is where it's do or die. Creed takes that step in. This is a tank Aurora. Remember, he's soaking up so much damage. Flowstate cannot push through him. As soon as he engages, they pretty much have to ignore him and look at the other damage dealers walking at him.
Absolutely, but here's that poke we were talking about, just tossing hats, tossing heat lamps, everything of the like. It's really up to Simba to kind of level the wave out, right? Really kill these minions. We always talk about when you're being sieged, you have to attack the minions first because they are going right for the inhibitor. They had to stay in their base there. They lose the tier 2. We're looking at the split push here as it's a 4-in-1 siege of the base.
Orb Prime is making this so difficult for Flowstate to defend against. These enhanced minions tear through your health bars. Proficiency looking for a flank. He knows he's got a way to get into this fight. He just has to get there, and the Flowstate's defense can fall apart. Oh my God, Crazy Fool finds a big Rift Walker. Now he's put in a cage. The black hole comes up and opens.
So big.
The Tesla Dome cancels that one out. Proficiency in the back, looking for Simba. Drops 2 down, but it's 2 for 2 so far. Flowstate still in this for right now. Magooly's popping off shots. He's alive with the double kill, but no, he goes down, and that means Professors want to walk it forward. Only Mercy left alive, and he's low health defending against minions. That's one for Professors.
We have tied ourselves up, friend. We're going to a game number 3. My goodness. We knew this was going to be one hell of a series, and we have ourselves a show, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Gazoo Invitational. Dude, for me, Flowstate, their composition just never fired on all cylinders. I didn't see Simba really in any...
Come seek the Royal Caribbean.
Together, your love turned the whole world on its head. And all the while, you were watching clothes dry. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Any of those fights finally got a black hole up, but they put the Tesla Dome right on top of him right there at the end, and he got no work done. He had to blink out of there because he's like, I'm just getting cooked right now. So the composition just didn't work. It didn't glue, it didn't mesh there for Flowstate. They just didn't get to do what they wanted to do, and Professors, they're going to take advantage of that every single time.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there. Flowstate wasn't able to do what they wanted to do. Their composition never came through, and it was because of the composition from Professors. They got counterpicked so effectively. You want a black hole? I don't think so. Here's the Tesla Dome. You want to run at my team? Well, here's a wall. Can you walk through that? They just never got to do their game plan, and frankly, it's a tough look because it feels like one thing where you see the drafts and you think, wow, what do I do into this right now? Just play the best you can, and maybe go back to the drawing board, see what is working, what's not working. Either way, Flowstate, take the loss. Professors, take us to a tied game state in the first elimination match of the day. What a way to start things off. But that's enough from you and me, right? We got Ego off to the side here. We got an interview with none other than Soul Reaper.
Gamers, welcome in, welcome in. I have Soul Reaper here with us for a quick post-game interview. back against the wall. You guys lose. You go home. You miss out on that $35,000. How are you feeling after pushing it to a game 3?
I feel really good. I think we've done better than most teams have thought we were going to do. I think most teams thought we were going to be out first round. So being able to beat Mythic and, finish above Pinzo, my job's already done. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And kind of on that note, coming in as an underdog into this tournament, you've showed that you can contend with the best of the best, 2-0ing Mythic, and now earning your way into this spot. When the pressure was on, you guys shine like a diamond. How are you feeling coming into a game 3?
Hey, every game's an elimination game at this point for us, so I think we're all feeling the same way. Like, we're just locked in, and at the end of the day, we just want NA to win,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And lastly, a hell of a performance there within the last game. I think it was 8-1 on the scoreboard. Huge contributions around the pit, but also in those small 3-on-3, 4-on-4 skirmishes. Are you feeling really comfortable with this gadget pick, or you think we might see it again heading into game 3?
I don't think they're going to give it to me again, but I think a lot of that comes off the Crux. The 3-man pulls are just easy set up into the route, and it's all off the Crux, I think. I think the gadget didn't really make that big of a difference, but I think they might ban it this game.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. It's Soul Reaper, and we know what you want to see. We're going to be sending it back to the casters, Spooky Mars in HD Philly.
We're what they want to see.
Oh, I love it, man.
That's so sweet. I thought they were here for games, but you know what? We got some games. We got more games coming up, and we got other games playing while this one was going on. Rogue and Mach 10 have actually been playing today. And I know everyone's been looking at these teams thinking, oh, Mach 10, they're on fire. They're doing great. Rogue got knocked down in a pretty clean way by Sin. This game is not our only tied set. Rogue and Mach 10 are tied up 1-1 right now, fighting for survival as we talk. Man, I'm just so excited for how this tournament is going right now.
Absolutely. We had a rough start yesterday in day number 1, but now we're cooking on all cylinders here for day number 2. And as you get this deep into the tournament, these are when the best players are going to be sifted out, and they're going to be elevated to the top, right?
Exactly.
So I was actually surprised to see that it was 1-1 with how Mach 10 has been playing, but I love to see it at the same time. Hopefully we can get a chance to go over there and see how those two are shaking it out. But I know you all are going to be glued to your screens here as we're going into game number 3. We're going to head to a short break, my friend. We'll see y'all on the other side. Maybe? Okay,
there
we're doing it. Hey, there it is.
will continue through the Welcome back, everybody. A little hand wave there from Salsa before we came in. If you know him, you love him. If you don't know him, you should know him, and you should love him. We're back in Game 3 of Flowstate against Professors. Tied game state. Elimination is on the line. One of these teams after this game will be sent home. One will continue through the bracket. Philly, it all starts right here.
In the draft, and this is where they're going to need to make those adjustments. In the previous game, the Professors, they were banning out target bans, basically, right? The Zaris, we saw the Wraith, etc. Do they go for something similar to get Flowstate off their game, or can Flowstate adjust? This is where it's going to be the real kind of heavy hitter. We're seeing Rampage first ban. You did see, if you were watching the live stream, somebody had the sign Nerf Ramp, because this guy, he's just so strong because he can play in pretty much every single position.
Yeah, he's been getting targeted out pretty much every single game. Well, he has been targeted out every game today so far that we've had on stream for you. I'm surprised to see the Rampage consistently go out from Flowstate. This is a big change-up, though. Flowstate decides, you know what? We didn't like the Countess. We're not going to ban it. We're going to stick to that Rampage, but we're going to pick it for ourselves here. BKB making a change.
And that's exactly what he wants. I mean, that's what he likes, those assassins. We were talking about it. I'm sorry, folks. I was reaching for the stats because I want to get those up. But I really love BKB. They want to facilitate him because he's been really uncomfy these last two games. He's probably like, guys, please give me something good. And they're able to help him there. We do have the Morn, which will probably go to the support. Peak, one of the most legendary players on that character. We're seeing the other side. Gadget, one of the highest priority picks that have kind of been a big show out here in this tournament. She did get the buffs over the last patch, so it only makes sense that she's mega strong right now. Creed, most likely again on the Aurora, and Crazy Fool on the Grux. We said there wasn't going to be too much change, at least from the Professor's side, but the Flowstate, they know they need to mix it up.
Yeah, Maguli during his interview said, you know what? We're not going to run it back. We like to be unique. We like to be creative. Professor said, no, man. If it worked, we ain't fixing it.
No.
Runs the whole thing back. But I do like what Flowstate is doing with their draft right now, because I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing less problems with the Aurora wall right now. I'm seeing less problems with the Tesla Dome. More ways to weave in and out of the fights. Rena can go up top, teleport into the sky, and just slowly drift down over that wall. I'm liking these tools a little bit more.
Yeah, and if you go Spider-More and Augment, you're going to be swinging over things. You can use the wall as well. So I'm really enjoying that. We're taking a look at the second phase of bans here. We're seeing the Skylar, a little bit peculiar here, but I mean, she's very strong in her own right. And then the Kira, the Maguli, is so good on that character. They also banned out his Wraith as well, but like I said, this guy can't really be banned out. Didn't have the best showing on the Drongo, but I think that was more of a team full composition because he was getting eliminations there at the end. Then the Professors, knowing they go for the double ADC ban, and they have that pick, they pick up the TB. Insanely strong in lane. Revenant, that's the next one up.
That is the Maguli pick right there, Philly.
Yeah, brother.
If Maguli wants to win a game, if he's feeling down, if he's feeling out, slap the Revenant in. That's going to make the draft start firing. I love this change-up, too.
Yes.
Mercy with the Fang Mao feels so much more Mercy than a Terra.
Oh, my gosh, and especially in game number 3, you want one of your best players to be able to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And I think having him on the Fang Mao is going to be able to do just that. The Morn Revenant, that's a classic pick. We saw that during the bulk of the summer series, so that's a tried-and-true lane. There's a lot of damage there. We're looking at the final pick here for the Professors. It's going to be the off lane. So knowing you're going into the Countess, what are you going to choose? I don't know. There could be a couple of options here. Kwong is still on the board. Do they try to go into the matchup again? Do they do something else?
I don't know if I like the Kwong here. There's a world. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but, well, let's stop talking because Ure picked up. Now, here's the real question. Which of these is the off laner? Is it the Ure? Is it the Aurora? You've got some flex potential there. You can decide where you want to put everything. Yeah, you could even I'm not going to say I like this, but you could put Grux into the off lane, say Aurora support. I don't think we're going to do that with how much success Crazy Fool was having.
Yeah.
But there's some flexibility here.
Absolutely, and that's the best part about the draft. You want to disguise things, but these players, they've done their research. They know who is going to do what. Grux against Countess in the off lane. Countess usually wins that. I know there's healing on both sides, but she can just poke him out and then jump on him, and it's really difficult for him to play. The Yurei a little bit better because she also has stuff from range. You know, throw the kunais, go in with the Sevenants, the anime burst can heal her back up. So I usually like that matchup. Normally we see it kind of flipped. We see BKB playing the Yurei, and then another person or another team playing the Countess and them going at it. So I would love to see how BKB matches up on the Countess against the character that he's most known for. So definitely going to be one to look at. This off lane has just been so hotly contested throughout this series.
And I really like this, right? You take a pick away, and then professors say, you know what, fine, we'll take your pick too, see how you like it. But the thing is, BKB plays this pick so much, he knows how it works. He knows what the power spikes are. He knows what the downtimes are. He knows when you're looking to fight against this Yurei, when she's at her weakest and when she's at her strongest. And I think that's a big advantage for Flowstate there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get inside the other person's head, that gives you a little bit of a power spike there. So it's a buff in mental. We're looking at the duo lane here.
Unless it's my head. Straight nerf to you.
Like we were talking about last night, we have one brain cell between the two of us. But anyway, that's besides the point. Today we are locked and loaded, just like the teams here for this one. I want to talk a little bit about this duo lane. We have the TB going on here with the Grux. I like it because you can put a lot of damage in. If you do get the smash and grab, you toss 3 grenades in at somebody, boom, boom, boom. That's a lot of damage. So I'm really liking the setup that they have here. On the flip side, though, the Morn has a lot of sustainability. He's a big, bulky body. He likes to build a lot of those defensive items. So if he does get yoinked, he'll take those hits. My friend, we're going here to game number 3.
Into game 3. This is where everything falls into place. If you're a Flowstate fan, you better be cheering. If you're a Professors fan, you better be screaming, because one of these two teams goes home, and neither of them want to be the one to do it. And it all starts right here at the first minutes of this game.
And I love this. Once again, our observer pacifist showing us what they're picking here in augments, and we are seeing the Spider Morn for Peak. I mean, he has done some crazy tech on this character. In terms of the Professor side, all of those augments, very standard. This is anything crazy. The biggest one is Soul Weaver right here. Getting that Soulstorm ultimate on time and time again, but reduced cooldown, that is just busted, in my opinion. We call it the budget black hole, or maybe it's the luxury black hole, depending. We'll see it come out through the game here. But in terms of all the different augments that these teams selected, nothing too crazy. I want to highlight that Simba is going with the Vitality augment here. So anytime she picks up Essence, she does get a little bit of gold and a little bit of that missing health and mana, so able to sustain in lane. But, you know, is he always making use of that? Because he's rotating all the time, and like NA is used to, we're seeing action right off the gate.
Peak looking for those pulls, trying to get some aggression onto Crazy Fool. I think that's going to be important, is trying to keep Crazy Fool down very early on. If you can put this Grux behind, those smash and grabs are not going to be as successful, because if you're behind, you're going to get blown up a lot more quickly. You're not going to have the time to sit there and go, rah, I'm charging, you better run. Okay, here it is. You need some aggression here. Luckily for Flowstate, that's what they do.
And that was a good smash and grab there. But I love this from Peak, changing off of the Enchanter support to the tank support. I know a lot of people groan, myself included, that it's been just tank support time and time again over the last 3 months, right?
I like that.
Enchanters have not really found their purchase here in the meta, and I think that's what happened. Peak was not able to feel comfortable getting into some engages on the Decker last match, so she couldn't keep Crazy Fool at bay. But now, on the Morn, I think he can do a little bit better here, peel more effectively, do the Eclipse, which might disrupt the flow of the Professor, so this Morn going to be crucial.
Takes the blink because he knows Creed is on the way. Got to be a safety tool expended. One thing I want to talk about in this dual lane as well, not necessarily in the dual lane, but Peak himself.
Yeah.
With this Spider-Morn augment, the glacial charges that Creed's taking become a little bit less effective, because you can just launch the vine, catapult over it, and get into those fights and do whatever your team might need you to do. Get pulled again. Got to be very careful here. There's a lot of damage. Survivor. Putting out, but Maguli is here, and so is Mercy. The first blood comes out under the tower, and that goes the way of Flowstate.
Debated is what we say. Peak allowed himself to get picked in there, so they thought they had a clean engage, but it's that Mercy lingering. And the best part, he gets the kill. He gets a stack there early on in this one. That's going to facilitate him even better. If they pick up Survivor here, that is going to be absolutely insane. Okay, they don't do that. But what you put about the Spider Morn augment, I love it because we call it the Mez Bomb, right? You just fling yourself in, you channel the Mez, and you just
Thanks to VA, I have a place to call home with the VA Home Loan, an education with the GI Bill, the highest quality, most affordable health care, and the financial support I need to manage the disabilities that I have from my service. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
You fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete.
Dix is the GOAT.
Pop right on top of everybody, and then, you know, they're CC'd basically, and that allows your team to facilitate. So definitely going to be a good engage tool here. Speaking of engagements, BKB.
BKB does find a way out. Glacial Charge, not going to find too much purchase there. Zed Creed goes back into the jungle. He's okay just showing up and saying, hey, BKB, don't forget about me. Frankly, after the first 2 games, how could you?
That's right. He's been bullied to oblivion. He has to expend the blink there, though, so that's, you know, a big cooldown gone.
2 blinks down.
That is. And he has the Shadow Slip, though, so he'll feel a little bit comfy, but that is something that they'll communicate these teams. When an ability is being used, they'll say, hey, this is down, time to strike, time to go. These two, this is a tried and true story in the offlane over the last month or so. Yeah. These assassins just battling it out.
Look at the way Proficiency is just weaving around. BKB is making sure he's not getting hit by that passive proc. And now Mercy makes the rotation in, but Proficiency's not going to take that step forward. Instead, Simba's the one in danger. Survivor is here, just needs one more shot. But the wall is good, and Simba keeps his life.
Oh my God.
That's tragic.
Holy smokes and a pancake, dude. 10 HP and he survives there. That's insane. Crazy Fool once again just being unleashed across the map. He goes for another engage, but this is what Peak does differently, but a Glacial Wall will keep him trapped in.
Uh-oh, he's in a bad spot now. Maguli doesn't have a way to help this one out. Scar is down. It did not connect.
Oh, it blinks.
Peak's gonna blink. Another one expend, but take a look up at the top here. You can see how many blinks are on cooldown right now. This is a very dangerous segment of the game because there's no more safety tools here. If you go in, someone's not getting out.
And I love this. This kind of shows the state of the game. This shows who's putting the pressure on to whom and at what characters. So the Gadget feeling very safe there in the mid lane, not having to expend the blink, but she's also kind of hard to jump sometimes. You got the security gate, Tesla Dome when it's available, things of that nature. So they're waiting for these times to set up the kills as they move forward. We've been seeing a lot of action here in the duo lane, but this is what I would think is the big change, and we talked about it a little bit already, but the Morn, this is going to be the key character, and you can see how already it's going better for them.
Yeah, you can see how Peak's kind of controlling the space around this lane right now. Crazy Fool tries to go for that smash and grab. He says, you know what? Why don't you come to me instead? Cancels things out and turns the aggression around. Wasn't able to find too much off of it, but I think once Mercy starts making these rotations a little bit more consistently, we're going to see some big plays coming up. I would love to see him in the mid lane. In fact, Peak goes all the way in, looking for the Mez Bomb. Mercy is here. Scar and Obliterate come through, but no root just yet. Just needs a little bit more. And Mercy finds a second kill. Looking for third under the tower, but he's going to bring it back. Creed on the rotation. Looking for a Glacial Charge. Cuts off Peak. Mercy not going to be able to help him out, but it's all right. He's got a way through.
I think for Creed, okay, I see what you're doing, buddy, but maybe go back to a camp, right? Because there was no follow-up there. You knew that you were not going to get a kill. Mercy was low, right? But there was other 2 members. You weren't going to get the elimination. The only saving grace there for the Professors, that it was Crazy Fool. So there's no stack there on the Fang Mao. He's already killed him once. The bounty has been collected. I would have liked them to try to go for the Fang, but because Mercy was so low, they couldn't start it. So he has to reset and then rotate to another objective. His red side is up, so he could go for that, potentially. Right now, though, very contentious across the board. All the matches coming up clean.
Eye on Peak as well in that red side. Proficiency goes into the Soul Storm. Just looking at some damage onto BKB, who frankly just shadow slips away and says, haha, nice ult, buddy. I'll just sit back here and be fine. What is happening right now is Flowstate's want to make sure they're healthy, make sure they get their resets off, get some vision down across the map. We're looking at this Fang Tooth. So are the Professors. Crazy Fool gonna find Peak here. 3 people, but a big mez comes in from Simba. The damage isn't there to help him out, though, and Soul Reaper gets to pick that one up for himself.
And that's what we say, dying for the vision, friends. Sometimes as a support, you got to go where you don't want to put the vision down for your squad. Peak found out there. He's able to be eliminated now. Professors think they can start the Fang. Can they do it and get out alive?
Oh, that's an Abyssal Rift opened up. Tesla Dome on top of Simba's above it for right now. Avoids the damage, but the Professors do secure that Fang Tooth. Crazy Fool pulls a couple back in. Mercy is the target. He throws it around. Crazy dies again. He's going to pay for it with his life. But BKB on the charge. Creed low. Survivor on the run. They just need to close this distance, but I don't know that they can. Just needs a little bit more. Not going to be in range, but keep your eyes on Simba.
No way.
He's looking at the top. It hits. He finds the coil, but does he find the kill? Survivor survives.
That's crazy.
And Creed does too. Maguli in the back. Oh, Ray finally wraps it up. But Creed is still here. BKB on the other side.
Oh,
a double dive and a double kill.
My goodness. The absolute gall on this team. They are not scared of the main stage here, my friend. They do a full tower dive. They might regret this now. The feast does come through, provides a little bit of healing. Crazy Fool, I don't know. He might die from this.
Oh, my God. The CC chain coming through. Just bouncing Crazy around. No, he's not out yet. BKB's coming back, and he wants a kill, but Reaper takes Maguli out. You stuck around too long, my friend. Let's reel it back in and walk out.
They got a little bit too crazy there. Now they have to expend some abilities. That hat almost exploded BKB's life, but my goodness. They didn't get the Fang Tooth Flow State, but they were able to get a couple exit frags at the end of it, so it kind of levels the playing field, you know, because we know the changes between how the Fang works and whatever. But my goodness, that tower toggling, the way they were able to each take a hit to then get under and find the dives was absolutely massive. We love to see this from Flow State. That's that full send mentality.
Yeah, it's so important to know how to juggle that tower aggro, and you see Flow State, they're a team that wants to be aggressive, and they know how to facilitate that. A little too aggressive at the tail end, though. Maguli sticks around too long, pays for it. That's all right. He's still doing pretty well here, 2-1. Mercy, though, is the big one, 3-1. All his kills happen onto Crazy Fool, so he's not getting a ton of stacks going, but he is getting kills. He's getting gold in his pockets, and he's pushing himself a little bit further ahead each time.
And something I want to point out here for the folks at home is Feng Mao is usually an assassin, and he is. However, the pros build him as a bruiser. You can see him. They were going for the fighter crest here. We'll get to that as another fight is breaking out.
Lights turn off, and up into the sky goes Simba. The Abyssal Rift opens, and you're putting out the damage. Tesla Dome not going to find the damage onto Simba. He's got to find a way out, though. He's by himself and surrounded. All of Flow State have been pushed back, and it leaves Simba stranded and dead.
And that was off of a fantastic glacial charge there from Creed. The team was completely sectioned off. They had to leave their mid laner for dead. And then he just did a ton of damage. So once again, the jungler just doing so much work. They're able to secure the prime, and they put it right on the man who needs it. It's Creed.
Creed is going to be bringing a lot of pressure. He's been all over this map so far, and this is what Professors are really needing right now to get some more going in their favor. You've seen Flow State taking some fights, but Professors are answering back each and every time, but they have to find something on the map itself. Now, 2 objectives to their name. You can start looking at these towers. Platings are still up, so they got gold around them they can pick up. This could be an acceleration point.
Absolutely, and it's actually the side of the Professors who have picked up the most plates now that we're looking across the map. So they have a little bit more of that gold advantage, and they took the Fang and the Prime, so they're feeling a little bit good. They are down in kills, but they've leveled that pretty substantially, so nothing too crazy. Only about, 1,000 gold lead. Thank you, Pacifist. We appreciate that. But I do want to talk about that Bruiser build. You can see the fighter crest there, and then going for the augmentation, which we usually see on like Zarus and Crunch, things of that nature. So that allows him a little bit more of that durability so he can dive into some of those fights. So that's an adjustment I would like to see from the players at home. You don't have to be the squishy assassin where you're kind of like scared to go in. Build him a little bit bruisery, get that HP online.
No. Please be the squishy assassin. I would like you to die if you dive into my team. I would like you to be on the grayscale.
Fair enough.
But no, you raise a good point. Mercy right now has some survivability, and that's not even accounting for Peak as well, who's throwing that contagion out, getting some healing going, pulling those mezzes in. this is actually a pretty tough team to fight into. If they get grouped up as 5, Professors might have a hard time. However, this is really hard to group up as 5 because of Creed. He's making sure you don't get to team fight with your entire team every single time, and it's really throwing off a lot of these fights. I think if Flowstate want to have something happen, they gotta be at these objectives first, and they have to be able to say, you know what, force them to come into us, we don't step out until all of us are out.
And speaking of objective first, the Fangtooth is now online again, ladies and gentlemen. It will be an electric contest between these squads. All of the ultimates lit between them. We didn't even have a chance to talk about who's got the better team fight, my guy. We'll have to analyze that after this fight breaks out. Creed does start the Fangtooth, but still the teams are positioning here for now.
BKB takes some damage in that million on his transition over, but Mercy catches
that's
Soul
big, that's
Reaper.
big.
A shutdown in the Tesla Dome is a big start, but BKB gets caught by Crazy Fool, who gets sent forward, not the spot he wants to be. And Maguli's got that one on to wraps. Up in the sky, Simba comes crashing down with the Abyssal Rift again, and Creed is left in a bad spot. Mez back in, and Peak is just saying, hey, Survivor, you want to ventilate? You can vent at me, buddy, but you're not going to find anything. Pulls him in with the abduct, and that is just wraps into the Netherrealm and down into the grave.
My goodness, nefarious work there from Peak, yanking Crazy Fool into the tower and taking him down. But it's Soul Reaper who didn't get the text message to join the party at the Fangtooth. He was caught there on the ledge. They recognized that Flowstate. They split him off, which is exactly what BKB is there to do. Find the singular targets. They eliminate him. And then it's save your friend syndrome. Oh no, our mid laner's down. We gotta help him. Then you're already lost there. Yep. The CC chains come through, and now they're able to get the Fangtooth. A clean fight there from F8.
Oh, hi. I'm just not good at this.
Who's your good boys?
Your turn.
Who's a good boy?
I think I'm supposed to give you this. I think he's the one.
Long fight, though. You see Professors coming back in. Not going to have too much to give them here. Keep your eyes on that in the pit there. They're going to find a way out. Maguli and Simba just fine. We can see Soul Reaper tossing the damage in, seeing if he can find anything off of it. Not going to be too much there. He's going to be just fine. And what I really wanted to point out there is on BKB's transition over, he was actually caught by Soul Reaper and Proficiency. They were throwing damage into him. They thought they had a pick there. Oh, and Flowstate just said, our solo laner? The guy you've been picking on all game? All set? I don't think so. We're his friends. Turned that into a big fight, and now looking for another fight. Gets rooted down, though. Mercy trying to find if he can get to Soul Reaper. Peak gonna force out that blink. Excellent decision.
Yeah.
Oh, Creed, hi.
I think he'll be able to get out of here. Doesn't have the blink, though, but he does have the safety of his Tier 1 tower. And you're right, they were able to take that engagement, too, because the Glacian Charge they knew was not available because he was in the pit. These two, once again, going at it. BKB, can he finish it off? He does.
Wow, that's a lot of damage coming from BKB. He's now feeling himself. He said, I'm back in this game. You kept me down game 1. I didn't get to do much game 2. Game 3 is mine.
Assassins, bro. This guy wants to be on Assassin, so just give it to him. Just allow him, and he can get it done for you. While we have a little bit of respite here, I do want to talk about the ultimate abilities and how these pit fights are going to go. Professors, for me, have the better pit fight engagement. I mean, they have circles on circles on circles, right? You go with the cryo size and the Tesla Dome, right? Like, there's just so many things that you can do to eliminate, and the Soulstorm. How can we forget about that? It's about, can they get there first and set up in the fights that they want to do? If they can, I think they'll win it outright, whereas Flowstate, they have more of this pick composition, right? They want to find the eliminations before the engagements like they did before that Fang, and then roll into the objectives. So we'll see. But Simba is there just in case with the Abyssal Rift.
Mercy wants to roll into Crazy Fool's health bar. Just going to push him back, not going to find the kill there. What I'd really like to see around these pit fights is a little bit more patience from Soul Reaper on that Tesla Dome. Very frequently, I think 2 fights in a row, we've seen the Tesla Dome get opened trying to catch Simba, but he just goes into the Abyssal Rift up top and floats outside of it, takes no damage from it at all. If you just place it as he's coming down, he doesn't have much choice but to sink down into that one.
That's true, but it's also an electric shield because the Countess and the Fang Mao are going to be looking for you.
That's true.
And so if you put that on top, that deters them for a little bit. But I agree, Simba's been able to float around that Tesla Dome quite nicely here. This mini prime, though, is going to go the way of the Professors. A good sneaky take for them.
Second mini prime for the Professors. Flowstate is in the area, turned the lights off, but not able to get there in time. That's going to be a 1-for-0 on the objectives. Fangtooth, little ways out still, so Flowstate and Professors have some time to kind of jockey for control of this map a little bit. You can see Tier 1 towers in the mid lane are still a thing, also the left side. Wouldn't be too surprised to see these teams kind of try to vie for control of those, bring those down to open things up before these objectives come in, because that opens up so many more paths around the map so you can try to find that position, so you can get that vision down and know where your enemy's coming from. I want Professors to find that lead in that mid lane.
Absolutely, and so we do have a little bit of downtime. We'll take a look at the gold, and it's pretty much neck and neck.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. We are seeing
Crazy Fool.
We are seeing the Vanquisher picked up there finally for, I believe that was Maguli, if I was looking at that right. But no time to talk about that now, man. We're getting back into it.
Look at the Mez. It connects on a Soul Reaper, and Pete goes right on in, makes the space, and Maguli's got the damage. One shot, 2 shot, give them all to me. You guys are cooked. That's the tower that's going to be going down, but here comes none other than Proficiency. Brings down a target. That's Mercy off the board for this fight, but can't stand up to 4 people pushing down your Tier 1. Gotta have to take those steps back, a 1-for-3.
And I like that from Flowstate because they were in this little lull moment. And they're like, okay, what's our next objective? It's that mid-tier 1. Let's group up. Our waves are actually kind of with us here, and we'll find the fight. And they find it clean. Yeah. They do lose Mercy, but I think he did exactly what he needed to do, expended his cooldowns, got people low, and the rest of his team backed him up there. Simba is going to return to base to get his Orb of Enlightenment online.
That's a big pickup for him. Now scaling up a little bit more. He already has the Tainted Scepter as well.
Huge.
So some of this healing from Crazy Fool, from Proficiency as well, going to be a little bit less effective. I think it's a big way to kind of get these fights go in your favor. Now with that Tier 1 down, look what's up just in time, Philly. We got a Fangtooth on the board. Only going to be the second one for either team, but that means we're 1 away from a Primal.
And you want that out-of-combat movement speed, especially if you're Peak, right?
Yeah.
He went for the Galaxy Greaves, which is giving him that movement speed. You can see he's got the fancy blue feet there. He's looking for the Mez Bomb right now here, folks. He wants to dive in, but he wants the rest of his team to be able to follow up. Right now, he's just getting some vision, kind of face-checking here as we're setting up for the Fang. I want to look at the ultimates. No Warlord's challenge for Crazy Fool. That's big.
No Cryo-Seism available either, so Creed not going to be able to throw up the stuns. You've only got 1 down for Flowstate, so no Reckoning. Well, that's probably like the least of your concerns right now. Sure, you won't be able to take Creed out of the fight and make sure he can't hunt, but if you're looking for the team fight, you're not too concerned about that. You can wait on that. So far, Flowstate moving forward, trying to get some control around this pit. Both sides jockeying here. Peak really leading all of the aggression. Turns off the lights, look for the Eclipse to come in. Movement speed is good, just drives him back. Creed gets pulled back in by the Abduct, but 2 get pulled in by the smash and grab. Tesla Dome opens up and forces a blink out from Mercy. Pete gets fried, and that might open up the fight. Simba's up in the air looking for a little bit of ways to put some damage out. Those health bars, terrible for Flowstate right now, and Professors want to keep on pushing. Simba doing a good job of fighting back, and that's a lot of damage put back, but the Glacial Charge comes forward. BKB gets separated out. He might die to Survivor. And he gets cut down immediately. Maguli's all the way in the back. What is he doing back there?
Oh my goodness, and it's a shutdown there on Maguli. I mean, I know he's aggressive, but he was trying to 1v4 the squad. You're not strong enough for that yet, brother. But what a counter engage there from Crazy Fool. Backing up, retreating in coordination, waiting for the Eclipse to end, and then knowing right through the fog wall that's where they're going to come in. So smash and grab covers a lot of surface area. You bring in a couple of members, he stuns them right up, and then they put the Tesla Dome. We've seen that as their playbook time and time again. They've executed and practiced that combination of abilities, working out to perfection for them there.
I mean, honestly, how much practice does it take? Smash and grab, here's my ultimate. It's a big AoE. Enjoy the damage. Frankly, it's a 3 for 0 from Professors, who just cleaned everything up there. Did get that Fang Tooth as well, so now a little bit faster on their rotations, can be able to move to these objectives as well. Or Prime is now on the board. No more minis to be looked at. Frankly, that's been something that Professors have been very good at securing for themselves. They've been constantly on top of that timer. Going to be a little bit more difficult now with this enhanced health, more damage, more abilities coming out. But I think you know where Professors are looking.
Absolutely. They want that. It's big Prime now. They can get everybody buffed in
Prime.
And if they can get everybody buffed in purple, they can then start taking the objectives. That tier 1 has a sliver of health, so that's just like basically while wind will blow it over. But I'm looking about how they are going to set up around this fight. Normally, Flowstate goes for like a 1-3-1 when they run an assassination comp. Cover both flanks, put your jungler and your mage in the middle with your carry to put the damage on. Have your 2 assassins on the outside to cover the flanks. If you just bum rush one side, you'll be able to take them down. BKB might be in trouble here.
BKB might be in trouble indeed, but recognizes the danger. Shadow slips over the wall. Good glacial charge comes in and leaves one completely stranded, and Mercy's got nothing to do. Simba comes up top though with the Abyssal Rift, trying to help out his team with whatever he can. But this fight, I don't know how much more there is. Goes into stasis as the Tesla Dome comes in. Maguli drops in on top, but look at the damage coming out from Soul Reaper. Creed steps forward and Proficiency in the back to make sure no one escapes from this one unscathed. Survivor putting out the damage and drops all his targets. It's a clean ace for Flowstate.
Oh my goodness, and that it was a security gate off the back of the gadget to lock 2 in, and they were able to eliminate him. The thing with Flowstate, they're spending so many resources to try to take Crazy Fool down, and after that they got nothing left in the tank, and so the rest of the team goes. Soul Reaper says, you guys got that, I'm taking the tier 2.
I mean, I respect the decision to go for Crazy Fool. Take him down, punish his aggression. But when you're jumping into a Tesla Dome to do it, with the rest of the enemy team still standing there, I'm not sure that that is going to pay off for you, especially when we've already lost one. If you lose a clean pick early on in a fight, you have to be very careful about how you progress through the rest of that. And right now, Flowstate feels like they're just trying to keep on pushing for whatever kills they can find without care for the danger they might be in.
Absolutely. If the Professors win this tournament, if they even get to the semifinals or whatever, this composition will go down in history. This Grux Tesla Dome combination is absolutely insane. But we talked about it at the top of this series, that Crazy Fool and Soul Reaper, they've been playing together for a very long time. They've cooked this up in the lab, and it's those two who are winning fight after fight. Everybody else is just cherries on top with what they're doing. Not saying they're playing poorly by any means, folks. I'm just saying they're just using their abilities to clean people up and things of that nature. Survivor looking very good. He's got the Ashbringer online here now.
Everyone's doing their part, but when you're team fight winning play is as simple as, I grab you, I ult. The other guys kind of just say, okay, so who's still alive after that? All right, we're going to go clean them up and hold on to a lot of abilities, and that's what's really...
Lately, I've been making my own oat milk lattes. Makes me feel kind of fancy. Oh, check it out. It's a mysterious squirrel. But I didn't need to tell you that.
Calafia Barista Blends. Perfectly frothy.
Putting Flowstate behind in these fights. They have to expend so much more than the Professors do. I think right now there has to be a way to try to get active on top of Soul Reaper, but maybe Proficiency's the target. Goes up and goes down into the ground. That's going to be a big shutdown. Mercy picks it up, but keep your eyes on the mid lane. 4 members from Professors gonna make that trade. A tier 2 tower, not worth the kill unless they can find something here in the fight afterwards.
And they're taking down the minions immediately, and that's perfect. This Simba comes in here with the Mez and the Abyssal Rift.
Oh boy, big Mez comes through, and Crazy Fool immediately goes down. That's a pick they need. Now the pressure onto Soul Reaper means that Tesla Dome is opened up. Flowstate can pull back. They don't have to get too crazy here, but now they've got an opportunity.
Yeah, the security gate gets them out of dodge there for now. And there was good discipline over the last 2 fights there from Soul Reaper, being patient with his Tesla Dome. That's what you wanted to see, my friend. Had to use it defensively there, but sometimes you got to do that. You got to use your ultimate in all the ways that it possibly can be expended. So great retreat there, but they got what they came for. They got the tier 2. They used the Orb Prime buff to their advantage, got a little bit more pressure in that mid lane. Whew, this is still anybody's match here, man. I mean, just one fight can turn it, but that's what Flowstate did. They went into the driver's seat. They found a person they wanted to pick, and they did just that. Peak cannot go down here.
He has to make sure he's staying healthy, but he's got the help. BKB and Mercy are both here.
Oh.
Earthshaker not going to kill, but it's going to be Maguli who does the job. Soulstorm explodes in the backline, but it's not going to be for long. He's taking it into the Shadow Realm. BKB is down, but Maguli is taking the shots. If he can just find a little bit more.
Huge.
Mercy cleans it up, and that opens up the Fang Tooth. This one is primal. No 3 stacks for anyone.
Oh, my goodness. Their Earth Shatter could have been reset there, but Peak actually abducted, I think it was Creed, right, out from the Execute, which is unfortunate because that could have put a ton of damage because he went with the Augment that provides the knock-up and the mini stun. They're going for the 2 camp here because that provides the most experience. You want to obviously choke out the jungle. I don't think they feel comfortable because they lost 2 on the back end here, my friend, of going for it. They're going to find the more easy resources across the map, the river bugs. You do, but your front line's gone. You need Peak. That is true, but with this much money on the line, my friend, an elimination game, you gotta keep your mental here, my friends. They're getting those easy objectives, the bugs, the 2 camps. They're gonna look for other things to scale for this next fight, but they can't be gone for too long, otherwise the other team will get the positioning.
I think we've identified 2 key targets here for Flowstate to kind of try to find a win in these team fights. You either kill Crazy Fool before the fight breaks out, or you dive onto Soul Reaper and force him to use that Tesla Dome defensively. Other than that, you're probably getting fried by the Tesla Dome. If they find the combo, it's just not working out for Flowstate. They have to find a way to get in and turn that off.
Absolutely. Next fight, I really want everyone to look at Survivor. Where is he positioning? How is he working his damage into some of these? He is. It looks like those grenades, and he's got Demolisher now, so he's going to be trying to chunk through Peak, who's gone for the Tainted Charm, and I like that because you can be in the fight, you can heal people up, blight them, things of that nature. So definitely very interesting here, but as we continue to grow and scale throughout this game, Maguli is going to become even more villainous, right, with those items online. He'll be one-tapping, folks, as we get further into it. The Overseer here now for the side of BKB, that's going to be doing a lot of that ultimate damage. You've been seeing them combo him and Mercy, right? We'll feast him to lock him down. We'll then put the Seismic Assault right at the end so it knocks him up, and then we'll try to eliminate him. Peak has to get out of dodge here, uses the Spider-Morn ability effectively.
Good movement from Peak to get out of danger, but it does mean he might have to reset here. He's got some healing in the kit, so he might stick around and just try to use the mana to keep himself topped up.
Sure.
Because if you take that reset, you open up this primal. Instead, he is going to go ahead and go all the way back to base. Does Professors recognize it? Doesn't look like they're willing to pull the trigger just yet, but they are moving forward aggressively.
I mean, they have all the ultimates to do it. It's a good pull on Maguli, the primary target.
Goes right into the Shadow Realm, trying to keep himself alive. You have to burn it defensively. And that keeps him up in the game for now. Peak going forward, doesn't find the Mez Bomb, but does find an abducting Creed who goes forward. Now half health. Everybody takes a step back. Neither of these teams have found the pick they're looking for. It's a separation here. Try to get those abilities back up.
And that's an advantage here for Professors because they have the superior poke. We've been talking about it basically all day long. That gadget can just rain abilities from above. Maguli now gets the reset. He gets out of dodge and has to be away from the fight here to answer this wave or they'll lose their tier 2. There's so much pressure going on there. I think Flowstate, they might give it up.
Yeah, it looks like they're sending Mercy and Peak back to the base, but they're now making their way back over. Can they get there in time is the big question. Simba in mid, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. They might be looking for exit kills. Creed, less than half health. As soon as that ward comes down, though, Professors say, no. We're not taking the risk. Let's pull this one back.
Yeah, because they can retreat. They still have the Tesla Dome, but they don't have their follow-up here. The Warlord's Challenge, it was not available for that instance there, and Crazy Fool, he blinks in, but doesn't have his own way to follow up.
It's an excellent escape from Mercy. Now they're targeting this Fang Tooth. Crazy Fool getting very low. Abyssal Rift comes in. Simba
Blinked.
wants to go forward. Gets
Crazy
Crazy
Fool.
Fool. That's a big piece down. Now Creed
Creed.
caught in the middle of everybody from Flowstate.
Dead.
It's going to be a kill for Peak. Tesla Dome opens on top of the Fang Tooth. Got to drop the aggression before it gets fried. Simba comes in. Can he secure it for his team?
Yes.
It does look good for him. Now turn it around. Survivor gets shut down. Proficiency still fighting for his life. Fighting for the kills. Trying to take the Primal away from anyone he can. He's so shifty, so sneaky. But at the end, he is just one man. It's a double kill for Maguli.
And it's an RGS ace there for Flowstate, brothers. They secured the second Fang Tooth and a Primordial one at that. They're going to be looking to press the issue across all the lanes. This tier 1 is still up for them, and the wave is against them. But I feel like with this many seconds on the clock, they might try to full send it and end it here. But their health bars are a little bit too low for that. I think would be a safer play. It was to take this inhib and roll to the Orb Prime and secure that for yourselves. But I think
it's going to be a full send. They're walking up, Philly. This one is dangerous. Crazy Fool up in 3 seconds. You've got Creed coming up in 5. I think this has to be a call to pull back. Maguli can't shred this. Crazy Fool looking at BKB, who's trying to sustain, but it's a quick kill. And that's got to be the call to go back.
Yeah, I'm a more of a defensive-minded person, so I'm scared to do a lot of the things these guys are doing. But that was a little bit aggressive there from the side of Flowstate. But, you know, when you hear that alarm sound as the enemy team, you're like, oh, crap, oh, crap, oh, crap, what am I going to do? But they are able to counter effectively. They level-headed, and they're finding the elimination. This wave state over here in the dual lane is still a problem here for Flowstate. Somebody has to answer. The big thing with BKB going down for another 40 seconds here is he won't be available for this Orb Prime. Professors, they can move on to it.
Professor's going to be able to get over to this Orb Prime pretty easily. And the other thing is that wave state on the left side is the opposite side of the map of this orb. It's so difficult to defend with that tier 1 still standing. It's tough to get that wave state managed much more effectively. Professors have a window here as Pete gets pulled back in, has to burn a blink to get right back out. Gonna be okay for now. All 4 still survive. But BKB down for 10 more seconds.
Oh, can they stall, friend? That's the question. Peak knew he had it, but now he's going back in. It's another engage onto him. He's dead.
Tesla Dome is expended, and so is Peak's life bar. Used the whole thing there. Now, Professors maybe not feeling too sure if they want to start this up. Proficiency and Mercy possibly facing off, but Simba caught in a bad spot, goes for the Soul Storm, cuts him off. Does not have a good way out of this one. It's just going to be a quick kill. That is 2 dead as BKB has now respawned, but he's a ways out.
Yikes.
He's right there.
And it's a little bit too late there, friend. I mean, they tried to stall for him, but they didn't retreat or coordinate effectively to do so. So it will be the Prime going the way of the Professors. A ton of vision to cover it, but a massive wave going in. BKB split pushing around the middle to just force everybody back. They have to answer this to protect the core, which opens up a space across the map to take some of those standing gold still like the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, excellent play from BKB. You know you can't fight anymore, so what do? Let's burn some of this Orb Prime time down.
Yes.
Push those waves up, threaten that core. You know it's not going to go down off of that.
No.
But you are going to try to get some space for you. Now that left side tower is down. Waves are pushing up. Inhibitor on the right side is exposed as well. It's dangerous to try to split push here, but if you can pull yourselves together and find a good defensive fight around your inhibitors, there's still room for Flowstate to make plays on this map.
Yeah, and I like that Maguli was able to basically free farm over there in the off lane. He needs to get to 6 items because he wasn't really in that Orb Prime fight. They were kind of looking, they were peeking, they didn't do a full-on engage. And like we said, that's not what they want to do. They want to find these engagements outside of these pit areas because Professors can block every entrance, every exit, and just eliminate you after that. So I really like what's going on here. We're seeing Salvation, a little bit more tankability here for Mercy, and the Tainted Blade as well. So he's looking to get the hurting on. I believe it's Omen or Dread, one of those. If we can go on past this, we can go on the 3rd item on Mercy. Let me see what that one is. There it is, the Omen. Yep, so he wants to be rotating around the map, getting those stacks, putting the hurting on like we talked about. The Fang Tooth is coming up here again. F8 here, they're positioning for it.
Now this is going to have to be a patient game from Flowstate because they have the map state. They have time for it.
Yes.
Sure, they are facing an Orb Prime team, but they're the ones who have taken that inhibitor down to the mid lane. All you have to do is sit around this Fang pit and say,
So this is exactly what your mouth had in mind. That hazelnutty, crispy, chocolatey, creamy. Irresistibly one of a kind. Irresistibly bueno.
These cookies just caught the creamiest wave. Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
All right, are you going to step up? Okay, maybe we'll fight. Maybe we'll just poke you out here. We'll just play this one slow. As soon as they see someone go into that mid lane to defend against these minions, that should be their go button to start looking for a fight. Proficiency on that left side. Going to be collapsed on. Peak goes way up high. Mez doesn't quite connect. And Proficiency going to be okay, but the same cannot be said for BKB. Survivor is going to take him down. Now they all get to move all the way over. Ooh, I don't know about this teleport. Peak going to be by himself. Going to go follow over. But Mercy being all the way over there is not good for your Fangtooth chances. And take this 1v1. Moving on in. Peak now makes it a 2v1. Do you have the healing? Do you have the Mez? Primal is secure to Proficiency. Might have a little bit more damage now, but is it going to be enough to take Mercy down? No, it is not. Peak gets the kill.
I mean, they trade out assassins, but you give up the Fangtooth. Is that worth it? No. It's the third one there for the Professors, and now they've got the full team going up mid. It was BKB. He was trying to set the wave once again there in the mid and stayed a little bit too long. They recognized that, the Professors, and they immediately bursted him down. This inhib is not long for this world, but Simba, the mid, their job is to eliminate minions immediately. Yep. And so they do that. Or Prime basically nullified there. They're able to save their inhib for now, but 15 more seconds before BKB is here in the fight.
It's going to be a 4v4 for a little bit. The good news for Flowstate is BKB comes up first, and he's going to get into this fight quickly as is at the gates of their own base. And Professors seem to recognize that. They don't want to push this any further than they have to. Take those couple steps back and say, let's play this one slow for now. We've got time. Wait for Proficiency to come back up. And then maybe start looking at this Orb Prime again. Maybe look at this left lane, the right lane, where you've still got some towers standing where you can push these minions forward.
Absolutely. And getting that kill onto Proficiency. So they recognized BKB. They knew he was dead. They knew Proficiency was caught out. We have to make the trade so they don't feel comfortable going into us because it's a 4v4 at our base. You have to fight into our inhib. Made him a little bit uncomfy there, friend, so they didn't decide to go for it. The Mesmer here for the side of BKB, getting a shield there to protect against that smash and grab potentially, right? There's some uses for it, but a defensive item that's a little bit uncanny there from the Assassin.
At the same time, though, it feels crucial to be able to avoid those smash and grabs. If you are getting pulled in, the fight is over. All the Professors need is to catch that one person out and just do bunches of AoE damage, because once that one person is caught, typically you'd be able to follow up and say, okay, they're putting damage into my, let's say, Morn. Let's move in and just try to help him out. You can't do that through the Tesla Dome. It sections everything off pretty much until you're done with that kill, and then you get to look at the 5v4 and say, hey, you guys want some too? And Flowstate says yes, quite frankly.
Every single time, my friend. And right now, Crazy Fool, he jumped in there like a madman looking for the initiation, but not enough. The Reckoning, though, I believe, is sectioning something out. Creed under duress.
Creed under duress, and Crazy Fool goes big, deep into the enemy team. But Magui takes Creed down to turn this to their favor early on. But BKB out of the fight very quickly. Simba drops down to the skies. These health bars low for Flowstate, but they're still alive. That's the most important thing. Professors have some space to move back into that Orb Prime as it's getting ready to come back up. But Flowstate, for their part, they take their resets. They didn't go down, but not having BKB is going to be a pain. Maybe not as much as losing Creed.
Yeah, because he's the jungler, so he's got that hunt online, and that's the secure for these primary objectives. The Spellbreaker did not help BKB survive through some of those abilities, so he was eliminated once again. I don't think these teams are going to go for it. I mean, you don't have the Abyssal Rift. You don't have the Eclipse. You don't have the Tesla Dome. It's really tough to try to take some of these team fights without your biggest impactful ultimates in the game to do just that. So take some of the jungle farm that you can, but most teams at this point, 37 minutes in, buddy, are fully stacked.
And I have to remind everyone, this is elimination on the line. That's why these teams are being so careful, but caution is tossed to the wind. The Soul Storm comes up. The Peak is still alive for now. Mercy throwing out the damage. He's going to make his way back up to his team. Ventilate not going to quite connect the damage they want, but they have given themselves an opportunity to go for this Orb Prime. Health bar low for Mercy, low for Peak, but they're still on the board. They can come back. This has to be quick, and it is fast.
Oh my goodness, they are burning this robot down. And I don't think, yeah, F8 will not be able to get there in time. The Prime secured. It's about getting some of the exit kills if they can, but their retreat is good there for the Professors.
They're just too far away. The Eclipse was used, trying to use that movement speed to get up into the fight. The Professors, slippery with it, make their way back. And take a look at that map. Their middle inhibitor back up on the board. No more pressure from Flowstate. They've got to be very careful how they approach this next one. Gonna be some pressure on the Soul Reaper. Uses the knockup, dashes forward. That's a big pick. Soul Reaper goes down for the count.
Oh my gosh, how did they find him out there? He must have snuck his way through the jungle. There's no vision that far in.
Mercy's gross.
Yeah, he's disgusting with it. Still, we're going in. It's a double mess.
It's gonna be a double fight. Big pulls come up. Creed tries to separate everything, but Simba takes down Crazy Fool. Soul Storm comes out, and it's gonna do enough work to bring Simba off the count. Now got to move on forward. Survivor drops the Ventilate, but BKB able to shadow slip away. Creed still getting chased down. Peak wants the abduct, not going to find it though. It's going to be a lot of damage put down. 3 kills for Flowstate. Only lost their mid lane.
And they're going right for the Primal Fangtooth, and that's exactly what Flowstate wants. These awkward engagements where somebody's caught out, somebody's out of position. It's about can they find them when they are, and they did that effectively there, able to find Soul Reaper. It's about how you close out the match now. We've been talking about that for the last 3 days when we've been talking over lunch and things. Team Immune does that really well. Flowstate, sometimes they're good, sometimes they ain't because they like to full send in. If you have the advantage, how do you win it? I want to look at this health bar for Creed, dude. That is so many ticks of HP. How do you even chunk through that? That's insane. How does Flowstate end this game? That is the question right now. A little bit of a uh-oh moment. No, it looks like we'll be okay. The replay is just getting situated.
It'll be all fine for right now. Let's take a moment to look over the state of the game, right?
Sure.
Incredibly close for everyone. That's why this is such a difficult game to close out. Death timer's extremely long. If you fall, it's a big mistake there. You have to make sure you are stepping up correctly and only going for the things that matter. That's why we see so much caution around these objectives. Sure, we did kill their jungler, but do we want to try to fight into that pit with the Tesla Dome available? If we mess up, we are done, eliminated, out. There's so much tension here, you have to watch your step.
Absolutely, and it's a battle of resources, right? Every ability you use, every cooldown, every crest, any potion, right? You're trying to whittle away the other team. That's why this poke meta has been so prolific over the last couple of days. This replay, though, I mean, we've seen a lot of different wacky things over the land so far. I like this Crip Walk that Peak's got going on over here. He's just stepping on him right now. I hope he doesn't hit into the inhib because that would just be disastrous for the kid. But speaking of his build, it's not overly tanky. He has the Unbroken Will, which is where the bulk of his tankiness has come from. There's armor on these other things, but not a lot of HP.
You're right.
So he can take some hits, but he's not, indomitable.
And you want to talk HP, let's go ahead and talk about Aurora down here. Creed doing so much. We're going to take a quick little pause here on the game itself. We're going to get things
he's still stepping, Pete.
He's still stepping, man. He's
Let's
got a
go.
distance
He's
to cover,
still
and he's going to
stepping.
get there. We're going to take a quick pause as we get this sorted out here. Philly, talk to me, man. We've seen an incredibly delicate balance between these two teams. We've seen time and time again where one team can just blow the other out of the water. Next fight is the reverse story.
Absolutely, and it's about closing that game out. I know I keep saying it, folks. I know you might be tired of me saying, hearing it, but that's exactly it. How do I take my advantage and secure the game? How do I roll it into something in it? Okay. You got to win the team fight clean. right? So
That's the big problem.
That's the bigger problem. Then how do you do that? It's about that interplay. So if Mercy dives in with the Fang Mao, who is taking to counter him? Is it Creed? Okay, if Creed's doing that, he's the bulk of the HP. He needs to be peeling back for Survivor. Like I've been saying, I want to see how Survivor is working his way through these engagements.
Yeah.
We haven't seen these ventilates, but they're kind of at the end. At that point, it's too late. So he's going through with some of the grenades, trying to poke from afar, but he's not putting in the big damage like Maguli is. Maguli now at 6 items. If he is actually involved in these fights over the last couple, folks, he's either been late, not there, he's just not involved. But once he does, it could be over because he can one-shot, one-tap people. So to close the game out, Maguli needs to be there in a good position, find his priority targets, whether it's Survivor, whether it's Soul Reaper. He needs to find those. Meanwhile, Proficiency is going to be looking to find him in the back line, so Peak is going to have to protect him in that regard. But if Peak is not there because he's trying to engage, right?
That's
You could go with a Thalt Train forever, folks. These are what the players are thinking about as they're intertwining their compositions. So it's very difficult to kind of untangle how these teams want to fight.
Well, let's go ahead and untangle it ourselves here. Let's get back into things and see how this one gets wrapped up. Now, we did just see Flowstate was able to secure themselves that Primal Fangtooth, second to their name here. Still going up against a 3 Fangtooth Professors, but we've seen time and time again. We've seen 3 Fangteeth against 0, and we have not seen the teams lose that. We've seen that's easily fought into. They just have to keep it in.
It's a big match for the National Women's Soccer League.
Hundo P. Spooky. I'm covering my ears here because it just got incredibly loud on the main stage. People cheering. I think we had to.
That was me. Sorry.
I think we had to rewind a little bit here because that Fangtooth is up, and I thought Flowstate had taken it.
They did.
So I think we're figuring something out here at what point the players are going at, but. Yeah, this is very difficult. One fight at this portion of the game can seal it. Yeah, we've seen this where he tried to engage, it didn't work out. Okay, so we're actually maybe 3 or 4 minutes behind here on the replay.
That just gives me more time to look at you, Philly. This is one more time to look at this fight. See how Maguli did show up to this one. Brought a lot of damage that you were talking about. You know, we know how this one goes.
Yeah, this is where the base defense happens. Simba's able to clear the wave. Then the Professors use a good, disengage tool and things like that. They can't go for the prime because they don't got the jungler. So what do we do from here? And I believe Mercy then finds. So we're like predicting the future here. It's like we've seen this before.
Are you a psychic, man?
I think so, man.
Do you do fortunes?
Actually, you know what I do? I do hero horoscopes.
You do hero horoscopes?
I do. Yeah. What's your favorite hero?
My favorite hero is Morn.
Is Morn?
Yeah.
That means you're going to have a lot of growth in your life, man. You're ready to grow out here. Spoiler bar.
Spoiler bar.
I think that's to protect the replay.
Yeah, so we don't
line.
see any timers on how long this game is. Granted, we did get a time reset up top, so that's not going to give you too much information anyhow. We're going to skip forward a little bit past what you've seen into the new stuff. Apparently, they don't like our predictions. Apparently, someone got mad about my growth in the future.
Really? Somebody in chat said they don't like you growing?
Well, no, apparently they put a spoiler bar and said move it along, boys.
You know our motto, Spooky. We say let's grow every day of the week. We finally got the replay situated. F8 able to tie up the Fangteeth here. They have the Primordial Blaze. That's going to be big into this next fight.
And Mercy is alive. Peak is here as well. Remember, this inhibitor has been taken, so it's not active, not an active defense. It's going to be easy for Flowstate to take this one down. Simba, though, is coming up from base, so Flowstate has to play this very carefully up at the front end. You can't get pulled because there's no way to bail you out here.
Yeah, and it's really hard to dive this team. That Tesla Dome is so scary at this portion of the match. And if you get walled off for one instant, my friend, it could be a disaster for you. So you're right, F8 has to be careful. But what they could do is go for a certain type of siege. How do we spread the resources of Professors across the map so they can't group up as 5? Somebody has to answer us on this lane and answer us on that lane. So you can see them kind of spreading out here now, Flowstate.
I'm actually very interested in Peak being on this left side, separated from so much of his team. Not going to be able to provide the healing, the CC that you would typically expect. maybe just feeling around for an ambush point where he can launch himself over a wall. Smash and grab, going to be down right now. Peek turns off the lights. We're looking to move forward, take down the inhibitors. Simba's brought up that right side. Easy sweep over for Flowstate to start putting the damage in.
And I like that use of the Eclipse, just to create the space for them to find that inhibitor. Now they know they can rotate with the minion wave with them. Still, they're grouping up as 5 here, Professors. This is a good death ball for them. How does F8 dislodge this? They've used the Eclipse. What other resources do they have when their 2 assassins want to look to engage, but these inhibs are active on either side?
It's just a matter of playing it safe and waiting for Professors to expend something they can't afford to. Look at the damage Coil is able to put out there.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that Renna provides. You just throw so much damage out over time. And now, let's see a quick little pause up here as we see a few more hats come down. Mercy in the middle of them. He's going to be okay.
So I like the point that you make about Renna is that she does scale. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the more essence stacks you get.
I love scaling heroes.
Or scaling. The more stacks you get, the better the coil is, the longer the range, the percent health, etc. And then you also have the augment that Simba is running, which gives you more gold, gives you a regen for your missing health and mana. So he's able to sustain and siege in these fights. So they can stick around here a little bit longer. Right now, Professor, what they're looking to do is ride out this primordial flame, so that way they know they can then take the next fight when they don't have that true damage burning them through. So it's about this timing right now. Can they wait out these abilities?
All right, well, we've seen or heard how this can go down. We've seen these teams clash time and time again. What we will not see is how it goes down. Unfortunately, our replay has completely broken, and it's had too much excitement for the day. However, what I can tell you is that Flowstate dug deep. They found something within themselves. They pulled that one home. They are now 2-1 in this set, knocking Professor out of the tournament.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you felt like it was coming, right? They were knocking on the door there.
They're right there.
One engagement, one dive in to obliterate somebody, then you just roll into the base after that. So you felt like it was going their way. So glad to hear that the Flowstate lads, they move on. Sad to see the Professors go home. Wish we could have seen the conclusion. I guess we'll have to talk to the players to see how it went.
We will have to do that. I'm sure it was such an exhilarating match. There's only one way to really know. Let's go ahead and see if we can't take it over to Ego and see what they got to say. Let's go full screen on it. Yeah.
Yeah, zoom in, get that extra wink in there for the fans.
You know what? Let me look into your eyes for a moment here. Was this a game or was this a game?
This was a game. I mean, what a way to start the first series of the day, right? I'm very excited to see how the Mach 10 and Rogue set actually went out, because before this match, they were tied up 1-1. All right, I believe now our producer has said the interview is ready. Let's send it over to Ego.
Get out of here. That's not them.
That's a blank screen. Hello,
hey guys,
and we're back again. Oh,
you know what? Do you want to be Mercy? I'll be Ego.
Sure.
All right. So Mercy.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? Why didn't you play Rampage at all? You're the king of the jungle, man.
Oh, dude, it was just banned out every game. I couldn't ever play.
You banned it out, bro.
Yeah, well, they banned out Zara, so we had to, kind of level the playing field.
All right, one more time. Let's give you the real guys. Ego and Mercy, take it away.
Congratulations on